nice to have a little reminder of how things used to be. In the heyday of the sport of auto racing, people would line up against the chain link fence and watch their heroes make laps. 70 years ago, NASCAR was born. One of the first pavement racetracks was a 1.3-mile oval in South Carolina. It was supposed to be one of the safest tracks around, offering a huge banked runoff space on the outside of the course. But drivers figured out that they could run faster using that runoff, and also found out that the safety net designed into the track was a trade-off for speed. It's the lady in black, the track too tough to tame. It's Darlington. Let's throw it back to the time that made the sport great.
Okay, first off, who the hell thought that this track was safe?
Well, it was supposed to be. That's why they made the little dotted line and put a bunch of pavement up there. And then now it's not anymore because they decided that's the racetrack now. So originally the racetrack was supposed to be way down on the apron and give you a ton of extra space to run. But of course, drivers figured out very quickly that that wasn't the quickest way around. And then he went up a little bit higher and higher and higher. And now they're all the way up against that wall.
So basically we went from being supposedly the safest track to being one of the most unsafe tracks.
Exactly, yes. And that's why it's so great. And the design of the racetrack, of course, looking at it from high above, you see that end is wider than the other end. We're looking from the narrow end right now, so actually it kind of looks like it's even from this angle. But I promise you it's not. Here's a look at the track map for tonight. Turns 1 and 2 on the right side, much, much wider than turns 3 and 4. The reason, because there was a minnow pond owner on the other end of the racetrack that didn't want to sell his land. And so they decided just to keep building the racetrack. They just make it tighter on one end, and then hence Darlington was born. 1.3 miles, 4 turns, and as you said, Finian, it's not very safe, and that's what makes it so awesome. Absolutely a driver's racetrack. Tonight, we're expecting a lot of good stuff. We've seen some spectacular racing the first 3 rounds of the season at Michigan, Sonoma, and at Daytona. I don't think anything's going to change tonight. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change either. At least if these guys keep on the pace of the season they've been having, because it's been phenomenal to watch these guys at the opening 3 rounds of this season, and especially Anthony Jabaro has been dominating the early part of this championship. However, he failed to get 3 wins in a row as Timothy Johnson got the win last time at Daytona. So he's looking to get back out on top and try to beat that Johnson, trying to make it 2 in a row.
And Timothy Johnson in the number 28, running, of course, the Davey Allison 28. I believe, I could have sworn he ran this car last year as well. This is just a classic paint scheme fitting, but this is the fun part about tonight. Everyone kind of getting to dig into their personality a little bit, go find their favorite drivers, and pick some great schemes from the past. And of course, I think you've got some information on who's got what, but one of the drivers we were looking at in practice fitting in this Greg Evans car, the 46, I don't know if this is a throwback or not, but it sure is pretty.
It is supposed to be a throwback. That looks like a retro themed paint scheme. Not sure from what though. That's like I don't have some of them. I have most of them. I know that one's from Herbie Fully Loaded.
This is a great looking race car. Of course, Zach Buchanan the last time out at Daytona had engine issues on the back straightaway. Ended up getting involved in one of the big ones there, but that is a great looking paint scheme. So simple. We talked about this. We were watching the Southern 500 the other day. Is that race or paint schemes used to be so simple in design, very elegant, simple schemes. They've gotten kind of confusing, and there's too much going on in a lot of them now.
Well, a lot of them they were boring because a lot of the older schemes were simple but in an elegant, like it worked.
Oh yeah, see, yes.
Like this, it's all red, but it looks nice. It fits the car, the design. Paint scheme nowadays are just boring. Jimmy Johnson's paint scheme is really boring and bad. But this, like, especially the 9, like, look at that.
Yeah, Casey Kane. Yeah. Oh man, it's a great looking scheme.
The little things on the 9 look so nice.
Jackson Robillard pulling out of the racetrack right now in his number 10. This is a driver that we haven't seen a whole lot of success out in the recent races in this number 10. We're looking to see if he can run a little bit better tonight. Of course, ran pretty well at Daytona for about half the race. How about DeBarro in the 27? You got a Coors Light paint scheme on that car. Looking pretty good there. Hayden Pistorius, the number 19, got his normal scheme on here this week, and some drivers have chosen to run their normal schemes. There's a lot of throwback paint schemes out here. We're going to take you through them as we go through the race tonight, but 182 laps fitting in this race is not short.
Yeah, it is not. It's a fairly long race. It's only 1 lap, 182, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's 1 lap shorter than what we ran in 3 wide, and that race took quite a while, but we're a few wrecks that sort out the field. We'll see how these guys are able to pair up with that, but yeah, nonetheless, it is a very long race distance-wise.
Qualifying complete, and Nate Stewart tops the board, the number 7. That's a name I haven't heard a whole lot of before, so yeah. I'm really excited to see how he does tonight. Matt Bell, seems like he's been stuck in 6th pretty much every race fitting. That's where he's been running. He ran there at most of Michigan as well as at Daytona for quite some time, but Looking really solid to start 6th again tonight. Come on through. Maybe get another lap in here. The best is a 27.6.
Yeah, and actually, if you want to go back to Nate Stewart, he's actually a driver from the Truck Series coming over to race here tonight. Definitely talented. He immediately jumps at the top of the board. So looking to see how he does in this race. He can keep the pace up there with some of the best guys in the series that we've seen so far.
Absolutely. Of course, the Mission 22 Cup Series is, of course, sponsored by Mission 22, United in the War Against Veteran Suicide. If you're interested in Mission 22's mission and you want to donate or help out, feel free to check out the link I posted in the video description. We get ready to go racing for 182 laps. Throwback style there is the tighter end of the racetrack, turns 3 and 4, and this is a little bit better angle to see it from. But 1 and 2, 3 and 4, completely different corners. You have to drive them entirely differently, but in this, we've been talking about this 2019 package for what feels like forever now, Finian, but a lot faster here. How do you drive it? How is it different than it was before?
Yeah, well, you have a lot more time on the throttle than you used to. I mean, you also used to have quite a bit, especially in turns 1 and 2, but you have even more so now. You can pretty much full throttle for the first opening laps, then obviously as the tires wear off, you've got to back it off just a little bit, but you do have insane amounts of grip compared to what you used to, and especially with the lower horsepower, it definitely helps with that throttle time. 3 and 4 still, you got to drive it pretty similar to how you used to, but again, you have more downforce work. But then the big thing is going to be the aero push, especially coming out of these corners. A lot of guys are going to be struggling being in behind one another.
Conditions for tonight, Finney, a beautiful evening here. Maybe a little bit hot and muggy. 94 degrees on the racetrack, which is not super cool, and it's going to cool off as we descend into darkness here tonight. But of course, the field, the big story tonight, the field is full. 43 cars on the grid for tonight. That's going to be a lot of fun.
That's a throwback in and of itself to the old NASCAR grid. You know, actually, I'm going to try to actually look this up while the pace-up's going. When was the first time that they actually instated that?
The 43-car grid? I have to imagine. It was in the 90s at some point.
In the 90s?
It wasn't as far back as you'd think. But you could do some research for me while we're pacing around here tonight. Of course, my name is Kyle Heyer, joined by Finney and DeCuna. We are Sim TV, and got more of this coming up later this week. We did this last Monday for the 3-wide Race Kings Cup Series. Of course, we're going to have this again on Saturday for the Outsider Racing League. So 3 times Darlington. You can never really get enough of this racetrack. So 43 cars on the grid as we get rolling for our one-timed pace lap. 182 laps. The fuel consumption's been pretty heavy here. A lot of downforce. These big blades on the back of the race cars certainly providing a lot of downforce, but also providing a lot of drag that are forcing cars to pit sooner than we would have in years past. So field rolls off to get rolling here. And we're underway here for our first pace lap. And cars spinning their tires, trying to get up to speed here. I do see a car buried in the pack that I didn't think was going to show up tonight, and that is the 50th Casey Lakatos, and a new paint scheme on that car this week. More black than there was in previous races. And of course, the Sim Motorsports cars have been working together pretty well so far this season. The 50 starting all the way back here towards the tail of the field, and of course the 54 of Alec Martinez that is starting up the grid some. So Martinez up the road in his Grid Life sponsored Toyota Camry. Of course, we already went over the 9 of Thomas George running that Casey Kane throwback, but heading back towards the front of the field. And we're going to try to grab the pole sitter for the night to make our way through turns 3 and 4. 182 laps. Darlington Raceway throwback night for the Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series. Here we go. There's so many cars that they're all jumbled on the timing and scoring, but green flag underway. Robillard popping out of line as we get down to turn number 1.
Get popped out of line. Everyone just kind of gets sorted out as they go through turns 1 and 2, and already some guys pulling off to the bottom. That's 16 going to the inside, but looks like everyone's gotten their way through. And Nate Stewart's going to maintain the lead ahead of Thomas George in that 9 car.
Yeah, timing and scoring finally unjumbled there. Nate Stewart leads the way. George and Martinez sit 1, 2, 3. Jeff Ford sits 4th. Matt Bell up 1 spot to 5th already. Lap 1 complete. They take off pretty quick around here. About 27-second laps already through turn number 1 for the second time tonight. Right up against the fence. This line is probably going to change a little bit throughout the race. Why?
Really, it's just as the tires wear off and these guys find it harder and harder to maintain in behind one another. These guys doing a great job. Whoa, big check off of turn 4.
Oh, and I think that is trying to figure out the Wonder Bread car. That's Thomas Bresci in the 24, all out of shape out of turn 2. No damage. I think we're all going to continue without too many problems. Back up towards the front of the field, Stewart. And has got rookie stripes in the back of that car, leading the way here early at Darlington fan, but Thomas George, the veteran, trying to chase him down.
Yeah, Thomas George, the veteran, trying to chase him down. He's got Alec Martinez, when you come into this series, has shown his speed, and here comes Thomas George now trying to show his speed as he works around the outside.
Is it too early to be this aggressive as George tried to fill that gap on the outside lane to cross him over out of turn 4, Finney? And aggressive moves here early for the 9 to Thomas George.
Yeah, aggressive move, but it looks like it might pay off. He's going to make a big dive to the inside in turns 1 and 2, going to try to clear him by the corner, and he does.
Whoa! And Stewart trying to cross back underneath. The 9 couldn't do it. Martinez sits in 3rd and trying to come forward.
And these guys playing with inches. You see Martinez giving actually a little bit of a bump to Stewart as they head off into turn 3. Stewart with a dive to the inside of the 9. Don't think that's going to work. That outside line is completely dominant in 3 and 4.
That's going to change throughout the race as the rubber gets laid down. But Martinez going for 2nd place here, working lap number 5 already.
You see how much clearer that run is on the outside worth, especially because you can make a dive to the inside like Martinez and get the spot. So Stewart back from 1st all the way to 3rd already. In the opening laps, has still a chance to lose some momentum.
Everyone getting single filed out right now, just trying to space in line real tight there out of turn 2, deeper in the field. But Martinez and Stewart battling for 2nd place now. Stewart back to the bottom in 3 and 4, and Matt Bell in the 77 lurking in 4th. I see another driver approaching the background. That's that red number 21, Nick Cohan. And that's a great looking race car, but the 58 to his outside, and that's Riley Thompson. He got in the fence. Here comes Pistorius to the inside.
Looks like they're going to navigate each other all right. That could have been ugly there, but they're going to keep it clean for now.
See Buchanan in the background on the inside, but still door to door. Robillard on the inside now in that number 10. Anthony Navarro in the 27 won the first 2 races of the season. Did not win last week at Daytona. Trying to maybe notch another one on his belt tonight. He's currently sitting 7th. And he started in 11, so he's up a couple spots already, make that 4. But I see a driver creeping up to the front, and that is that 54 Martinez closing in on George for the lead here. This 54 looking really strong.
Yeah, he's caught him early, and you can see him already starting to take just a different line to get out of the shadow from Thomas George. Is trying to get some more air to that nose of his car.
Oh, no, a couple cars in the fence. Nate Stewart.
Oh, and this race has gone from bad to worse already, and he dropped now all the way back to 11th, 12th, and counting.
Darlington stripe early in the going for the rookie. And that's going to happen a lot tonight, I think, but Nate did a good job collecting it. He'll get a chance to recover. There goes Norm Pelletier around his outside. John Borsch closing from behind, and Colin Fambro in the number 5 car to the inside. That's a... I'm trying to figure out what that scheme is is inspired by. I thought it was a TRD scheme at first. Caution towards the rear of the field. It's Justin Rodden in the 0-1. That FedEx car destroyed.
You can see him leaving smoke, and the nose of that car completely gone. He hit one of the walls really hard.
Yeah, I think it was only a single car incident here. So our first caution 9 laps into the race. Let's go back and take a look at how this happened.
I think probably got loose off the 2 is my guess to the inside wall.
There might be more to this story here. There's the 1 driven by Liam Sheen right up the road. Was there contact between these 2? Sheen was on the inside. Oh, that was just bad timing there. Went to the outside of the 1 and just... Oh, big hit to the inside. It's right on board with the 0-1. Back a little bit farther here to catch. He was approaching the 1 of Sheen. Sheen dives down off the banking, and Rodden wasn't able to get down to his apex, and he just missed that just a little bit, and it was enough to tear up the car. So pit stops underway, the entire field coming on down for pit stops here early in the going. And this doesn't really surprise me one bit here, Finney. I think tires are going to be at a premium. The way this track chews up the Goodyears, you're going to want tires pretty much every time.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see Stewart coming in for his pit stop too. Probably not going to try to repair anything. He should just try to get back out there. But yeah, he made a...
Field rolls off of the pit lane, and I see Evan Adams out front right now, perhaps just leading a lap here in this 59 before we turn it over to Alex Martinez. Matt Bell, he's dropping down the order. Oh, man. And you hate to see that. The 77 shooting on pit lane. And pit lane here is going to be a struggle all night long. Pinion entering under green flag conditions is probably one of the hardest things you can do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The pit lane in there. We're going to try to get on board with one of the guys that is trying to get the pace so we can get a look and see how special the entry really is.
Now, we got to go back a little ways here. We're right on board with Jackie Cannon. And you're going to look for that pit lane entry all the way on the left-hand side of your screen. Right there, the yellow barrels. I don't even know if they can see that with the letterbox thing there.
You barely can. I think that's kind of the point, really, is to kind of show how bad it is. And really, a coach just trying to get up pit road here. It's gone all the way off next to the wall, down onto the down onto the eastern, which is
Hard to even get it in
flat
frame here.
at speed, man.
Yeah.
You see Matt Bell.
Creeping
He still has
around.
to let some guys by, so this is really going to hurt him, especially considering how many cars we have here too. So it's going to really put him on the back foot.
Going to put the 59 in the lead right now. He has not chosen to come to pit lane. I think he's going to dive off here to the inside.
Yeah, that's what happened to Thomas George in pit road when he lost a lot of spots. He's down to pit. Coming in pit, so might have made a mistake or something on pit road, but it cost him a few spots, and it gives Martinez effectively the lead here as to Evan Adams peel off on the pit road.
So Alec Martinez is going to resume or assume the lead here as the 9 of Thomas George made a mistake on pit road entry. Actually didn't get into his stall properly, and he's going to slide back to what will be position number 5. So that will lead the Sim Motorsports driver Alec Martinez out in front. Jeff Ward in the 89 is going to be second place. As we get the 1 to green here to set up for a restart.
All right, so for the restart here, Finian, what are your predictions in terms of the line that Alec Martinez is going to choose? Inside or outside, which one's the better way to go here?
I think definitely want to take the inside lane. Just due to the way this package is, it's really hard to get up to speed. It's not as instantaneous. So you're still going to be accelerating by the time you get to turn 1. So, obviously you want to take the shorter way around when you're still gaining up to speed. So definitely, I think everyone's going to take inside line every single time.
The field rolling through turns 3 and 4. It's going to leave the lead back to Alec Martinez. And, of course, the gray ghost paint scheme that Jeff Ward's got. That is a classic look on that number 89 Mustang. But out of turn 4, coming back to the green flag here, Finian. Too early to make a prediction for who's going to win the race because I'm looking at 54. He looks pretty darn strong.
Yeah, there's a lot of strong cars in the front of the field. Green flag back in the air as Martinez gets the fantastic jump on the field. And so does DeBarro as he goes looking to the inside of Jeff Ward.
And DeBarro, really strong start to the race, got a good pit stop, and now sits in second place, battling with the 89. These two were championship contenders last year. Look at Martinez all the way down to the apron out of turn 2.
Yeah, looks like they're going to pick up right where they left off last year as they're fighting for second place, though not for the lead, as they're both trying to wrestle it away from Alec Martinez. You see Greg Evans, who didn't have the best of seasons last time around, but this season is looking a lot stronger as he goes on the pass to the outside of Jeff Ward.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because Greg Evans really didn't have a great season at all last year. Was never really a factor in the championship, but this year, already shooting a lot better out of the cannon. Maybe just time to get used to this new car, but the way it drives, I think this is really suiting the 46 a lot better this time around.
Yeah, and it's pretty much right where we really expected him to be last season, so nice to see him back in the fight and competitive with everyone else.
Martinez leads the way. DeBarro trying to chase him down. Nick Cohan creeping into the picture. He's going to try to work his way by Thomas George. We saw George slide through his pit stall on pit entry, and now he's going to be paying for it. Dropped 5 spots and maybe even 6 now as Cohan tries to work around the inside. Wow, the man got really close to the fence.
Yeah, makes a great pass from Thomas George. Honestly, I'm loving the look of that top 7. Honestly, I just want to say right now, I think that entire top 7 currently, Martinez, DeBarro, Evans, Ward, Cohen, George, and Johnson, I think those are going to be our championship competitors. Those are some of the strongest guys in the series, all at the front of the field currently.
Is this a front row motorsports throwback on Shane Ewing? That's a good looking car. It's got to be, 2013, 2014, something like that?
Yeah, on a Toyota.
Interesting choice there. But there, of course, is Timothy Johnson's timeless Havoline paint scheme, Davey Allison. Of course, there's a car on the apron there that is slow. I think is that Rick Thompson? Yes, it is. Caution on the racetrack is nope, not Evan Adams. Riley Thompson's around on the back straightaway.
He's got a decent lick of the right side wall. I think just got him to the wall for 2 probably. It looks like turn 2's definitely been the trouble spot here.
Ooh, this
might have had some help.
This is a bit of a tank slapper here. And that was the 60 of Derek Paulson tucked in behind him. And he just got loose, and I don't know if there's any contact there, but ooh, big hit to the inside. Wow, look at Lakatos and the 19 of Pistorius squeezing on by there. That could have been a whole lot worse than it was. Oh, right on board the rear of this gate. I'm not convinced that there was totally contact.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It looked just really close, and then you see him.
Yeah.
Contact, but like only after Thompson was already wrecking loose, and then Makadas comes in. Not sure if he actually hit the wall or spun out or anything after the fact. It's like sliding, trying to come to a stop here. It was really close.
Oh, and he might have gotten something here. He locked it down.
Great save.
Locked it down,
Yeah.
got it saved. Great job there as we head back live here, and we're going to check in on a couple cars after we get through the pit stop sequence. But a lot of pit stops. We only ran a couple laps there, but people still feeling like the tires dropping off quick enough to require tires. So 54 is in. An update on.
Ooh, Thomas George.
Again, this is the second time tonight. And we wanted to get a check-in on the number 18 of Justin Guthrie, and Guthrie is back here in a CarQuest paint scheme. This has got to be, is that a Martin throwback?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Or just the 5 Hendrick car, because that went through several different hands. Was Kyle Busch in the... Did he drive
Kyle
the
Busch
car?
he did drive the CarQuest as an associate sponsor. It was a primary for a couple of cars. It was not a common scheme for him. It was mostly the Kellogg's car.
I think Mears might have been.
Mears, I'm pretty sure the
CarQuest?
white one was when Mears drove it. It was still the Kyle Busch blue yellow, I believe.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the white was when Mark Martin was in the car.
Yeah.
It could be even older than that though. It could be a Vickers scheme. Back when it was the 25. But is that on your list of people that told you what you were on?
No, it is not.
See, we're not old enough for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Hendrick ran the CarQuest car for a while. Especially Mark Martin. But yeah, back to the question earlier. So I was looking, I found a decent article on it. So yeah, so it came out in 1998, the 43 car limit, and actually, what am I right about that? Yes, 1998.
Yeah, so it's a lot more recent than people thought.
Yeah, and actually before that, they actually had different limits depending on the track size. So small and intermediate tracks had 32. It increased over the years to eventually 43 everywhere.
So we do have, I guess I would call it retirement. Travis McQuistion off the racetrack and out. I didn't see what happened to him. Filarski never took the green. Justin Rodden is down many laps, but still on the racetrack. Some other updates for you. Driver that really liked to see that caution was Matt Bell, because he is now your leader after getting that pit road speeding penalty a couple laps ago.
It's a smart move, just staying out. I don't think the drivers are going to kill him that much. He might drop back a little bit here on the start, but it's better than running in 30th trying to move up through the field. So good move there to move himself up. Also looks like Vic Bloom as well stayed out in the 99. We saw him throw some decent moves at Daytona last week and is up again in the front of the field trying to throw it down with some of these other guys.
All right, we're coming back to this, I promise, a little bit later in the race, but we also are very aware that this is much nicer to look at for information. So we're going to go back to this just for a little while. We're going to come back to the throwback around, we'll say probably laps 70 to 80. We'll come back to it for about a 50 or 60 lap segment. For now, we got the 1 to green, pace car lights are off, and we're going to re-rack them, restack them for the restart. And Matt, I still think the inside on this package is the way to go just because there's not enough power to really pull away and make that outside lane work.
Yeah, because you pretty much are still accelerating through turns 1 and 2 almost anywhere, so pretty much might as well take the inside lane. And then after that, it's kind of up in the air, but definitely inside for the initial start.
Interesting to say that the track temp has not dropped yet, so we still have a little ways to go until the nighttime falls. But for now, still 94 on the racetrack, 89 in the air, and not much wind tonight to worry about. Of course, these cars often are so close to the edge of control that even a little gust of wind can push you into the fence and get you that famous Darlington stripe. So field double back up again. Really strong field at the front here, especially Cohen, DeBarro, Martinez, Ward, Evans, Johnston, George. As you were saying, that's a really strong group. I expect those to be our fuel finalists at the end of the season. We'll see how it all plays out. Out of turn 4, though, coming back to the restart, Matt Bell in the 77. He's going to fire off. Green flag back in the air.
Yeah, wasting no time to get to the start. Green flag in the air. You see also Nick Cohen trying to wrestle away second place from Nick Bloom. Hoping he's going to be successful in that. Martinez, though, getting to the inside of Bloom as well.
Yeah, Martinez has been really racy. I don't think he's typically qualified very well most races we've seen him in, but it seems like this season he's qualifying. Well, car in the wall in the back straightaway. Hard hit. And it is, I'm trying to see this, the 22 of Brandon P. Big hit. No caution. We stay green. And, of course, that Tony Stewart throwback is going to be looking pretty hurt. Actually, you know what? That's not that bad, considering the hit that he took. We're going to jump back to the front here, though, because it's getting slicey and dicey. Bell leading Cohen, Martinez. And look at DeBarro all over the 54 for third place.
You see him look on the outside mid-corner. He's really looking racy, even more racy than Martinez is the one who's giving a bump draft down the back straightaway. Almost pushes him into his own teammate.
Don't push the pusher.
Yeah, in 21. As Cohen goes to the inside, Martinez is going to say thank you very much and go around the outside as well as DeBarro.
It's getting really tight up at the front of the field. Martinez is able to slip on by, so Cohan's going to drop a spot. 54 gets on through, so it's Camaro and then 3 Camrys and another Camaro at the front of the field right now.
I don't know a whole lot of Chevys in the front of the field at the moment. A lot of them are kind of scattered and going back.
Vic Bloom, the 99, slipping backward. You see how much these tires seem to matter. Didn't take it on the restart. It's working out fine for Matt Bell, but not for the 99 of Vic Bloom. Norm Pelletier scrapes the wall out of turn 4.
They're just kind of trying to sort it out, find their place in line, and start making some passing up to the front.
And speaking of the front, Martinez, we talked about him all race so far. He's looking probably as racy at the beginning of a race as I've ever seen him, but putting pressure on Matt Bell. I think this is inevitable considering the tire situation, but Cohan back to the bottom in 3 and 4.
First, Cohen keeps trying that bottom lane. It's just not going to work in 3 and 4. You can definitely try it on the entry for 1, but that's about it. Everywhere else, you're only passing the outside. Here comes DeBarro to the inside.
Yeah, DeBarro not going to give his teammate the spot. I guess he will there, and that's going to relinquish 4th place to Greg Evans. The teammates not working very well together right now. I think DeBarro and Cohan are getting kind of crossed up, but Evans moves his way off into 4th.
Speaking of Evans seen a whole lot out of him recently, but he's in 8th place having a really good run. As Vic Bloom is dropping to the back, I think he's just giving up on this and just kind of trying to find a place in line.
Yeah, you don't want to be in front of people that are trying to get by you really fast because that'll not work out in your favor. Martinez has slipped around for the lead up front. Matt Bell falls into the clutches of Nick Cohan out of turn 2.
Oh! Bell with a slight scrape off the wall. It's going to let Cohen get a nice one from the inside for 3. He's going to dive deep on entry. I don't think he's going to be able to get it, and I think that might help Bell on the outside.
Yeah, Bell's going to be able to carry this momentum right around the outside. Oh, so close. Almost an inch between those cars out of turn 4, but it looks like the 77 will hold on to it for now. And now Greg Evans puts the pressure on Cohan from the outside lane. So again, the outside seems to be the place to be. I thought the inside would be a little bit better early in the race, but maybe when the track cools down later tonight, it'd be a bit better of an option.
Barrow looks like he's trying to make a pass on Cohen as he let him slot in line, but is going to stay behind him. Then it's Jeff Ward, Johnson, Ewing, George, and Robillard, your top 10.
Go back a little bit further, and you're going to find Thomas Bresci in that 24. He was in that skirmish early in the race. Ooh, we got a car way down on the low side. That was, I think it was the 21 of Cohan getting by Matt Bell. And he's going to, Bell sliding in front of the field. Going to collect it in front of everybody. It's going to stack everybody up out of turn 2.
We're not getting just yet. It stacked up a lot of guys. Look at how everyone's swarming, just trying to find a place in line after everyone got swallowed up. There comes Thomas George, the inside of Timothy Johnson. And also Pelletier trying to find his way through.
Yeah, George is in the danger zone. He's screwed up 2 pit road entries now, sliding through his pit box, so trying to make up that time. Of course, he puts him in a bad spot. You see how much action is going on around him. You don't want to be in the action. As the 9 and the 28 get together, Johnson and Robillard crashed in turn 2.
Johnson is going to get it to the inside line, and Robillard.
And Buchanan was able to dive to the apron to avoid most of that.
Oh boy, and look at the check behind Johnson.
No.
And wow, Storage is going to dive to the inside. We have to take a replay of that. He just passed about 4 or 5 cars on the back straightaway alone.
I'm really nervous to jump back to a replay with all this action going on right now. But Stewart jumped up a bunch of spots there. There's Hensley popping out of line in that black and orange 44. Everyone's getting really crossed up through 1 and 2 here. This is a corner that's pretty much full throttle on fresh tires. You start having to breathe off the throttle a little bit later in the race. But some more action there, a couple cars in the fence. That is the 58 of Riley Thompson, who's been in the wall once already tonight. I think now we're starting to get sorted out. Justin Guthrie in that CarQuest scheme on the inside. And there is Pistorius, and I think that's Jack Andrick in the 17 to his outside. Andrick really in front, he's actually behind the Darrell Waltrip scheme. That is the 4 of Casey Shue to the outside of Guthrie. But Andrick really impressed me last week at Daytona. I thought he should have won that race. Didn't work out that way, but having a pretty decent start to the night in that 17. Of course, got some work to do.
Yeah, he's been in the wall already so far, and started in 18th, back into 21st, so I've been entirely gone his way as he's trying to navigate Justin Guthrie.
And Casey Shue in this 4, that is a Tony Stewart Busch Series throwback.
Yeah.
That's a good looking car. I miss the Old Spice machines. Zach Buchanan is climbing up the grid. This has been a strong run. Started 21st, up 9 spots. Got a scratch on that number 40. For all the chaos he's been around, this is a great start for Buchanan. after that incident last week at Daytona. Alan Fambro up the road, Shane Ewing. You mentioned Shane having a pretty decent run. Close quarters there on corner exit.
Yeah, Fambro not showing him a whole lot of love, but Ewing will take the spot away nonetheless, move himself back up into 9th.
Up the road, Matt Bell in the 77, getting passed by Thomas George. So this strategy is working out a lot better for Bell than it did for the 99 who's fallen all the way back to 29th place after restarting in second. So worked out a lot better for one car than it did for the other. But up front, Alec Martinez leads the way here, Finney. It's been a strong run so far. He's led 15 laps already. It's almost half the race, and he's still pulling away.
He's done a fantastic job. This is a little bit of lull in the action. I really want to look, see if we can go back and see what Nate Stewart did, because his move was
way back.
Yeah, lap 29, I believe it was, but he made a fantastic move to the inside. Several drivers as they're all checking up. A little bit farther here.
I think. Here it is.
Watch this.
Wow. This was worth it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
We have about 5 or 6 spots doing that, and it really helped him position-wise, moving himself back up into 16.
There's a look from the blimp cam here as he just blows on by everybody. It looked like they were stopped.
2, 3, 4, and 5.
And I thought he got the 44 here as well, but a strong run for the 7 on the back straightaway. We head back live. Is up to 16th place and working over the 24. Bresci, tight quarters out of turn 4.
Going to be slowly tight quarters as they head off into turn number 1
on the apron.
Yeah, tries to put the apron there, but looks like Bresci's going to be able to clear him from position. Bresci's been doing a nice job slowly driving the top 10 later on.
Jumping up to Matt Bell in the 77, still sliding backward. Here comes Jackson Robillard in this number 10 car. And a decent run at Daytona. Didn't really get the finish he deserved in that 10.
Yeah, it did. But definitely got to say, though, for Matt Bell, could be a lot worse. Again, he was back at 30th with that speeding penalty, and this was about where he was running before he had his speeding incident. So, I guess could be worse, although he's definitely hoping for a caution, really, to kind of put himself back on equal footing.
I love having this graphic for moments like this. As high as first, as low as 35th. Remember, there's only 43 cars in this race, so he's certainly been all over the map tonight. And I did see Hayden Pistorius slow on the back straightaway, and I'm trying to figure out what that was all about. So let's go back and check what this 19 had happened. There was the 4 of Casey Shue. Was their contact here, essentially off into turn 1?
I think something off in turn 1.
Rub the wall on corner exit, or hit the apron too hard, or what? Oh yeah, wall off of 2. Whoa, big save on the back straightaway. Did a decent job gathering it back up and lost a couple spots there. And same thing for Justin Guthrie just now. I think he had issues. Let's go back and quickly take a look at what he had happen. Ooh, this is contact with Lacanis.
Yeah, that
wow.
Was a lot of contact.
Managed to save that too. Here's one more look at it.
That was pretty much a wreck right there.
Yeah, Lacanis slipped up the racetrack.
Oh.
Wow, look at the 18 save that thing. Great drive by Guthrie.
He was actually lucky he had the wall there to kind of knock his car back straight. He lost a lot of positions from that incident.
And here's Shane Ewing looking really strong. Remember, Shane Ewing entered some races last year and wasn't a full-time car, I believe, but ran some spectacular races and looking really strong again. Good enough to be a Fuel Finals driver if he commits to running more races this season. So strong run so far for that 32 car, sitting in 9th place. 4th place beginning to be a contest here. Greg Evans and Jeff Ward running 4th and 5th. Remember last year, we talked about it earlier tonight, how Greg Evans really didn't perform to the level that he did in 2018. And Evans really is changing things around this season, already looking a lot stronger, a lot more competitive, but still chasing DeBarro, nipping at his heels. But has a lot of season left to gather some competition, fight against that 27. Deeper in the field, Hensley. Ooh, Hensley off the pace, slow out of turn 2. Was this contact here with Timothy Johnson potentially? Whoa! Oh, I don't know if that was.
I think I was just missing the engagement. He was trying to clear himself before the turn without, losing too much speed. Yeah, I think he just thought that he was clear and just caught him with the front of the nose, so that is pointed, not a flat nose, so just closed him a little bit.
Yeah, he bailed out of that and thankfully kept the car going straight. Right behind him was Jack Andrick and Hayden Pistorius. That is the lap car. I believe that is Rick Thompson in the 76. Not a great start for the night for the 76. Down 3 laps already. We've got a couple more retirements to tell you about. Tyler Dolger in 36th, Riley Thompson in 37th. Those drivers are done for the night. Justin Rodden is still out on the racetrack in 38th. Evan Adams, Brandon Key, Dakota DiCienzo, Travis McCushion all out.
I was going to say, you saw DiCienzo, he was running a Betty Beam team in the 43.
They didn't really see what happened to him either, but one can only presume that there was some damage involved with it. Jonathan Johnston under attack right now from Thomas Bresci. Bresci so far this season, Finian, running well and ran well last week at Daytona. But I expected this driver to win some races last season, and he didn't do it. Is this his breakout year? Do you think he's going to rack up a couple wins before the fuel final starts?
Yeah, I don't think it really has anything to do with him per se. He's been extremely consistent. He's just not won a race really for one reason or another. And it sounds like a BS excuse, but this is again a very competitive field. And if it hasn't been him, if it hasn't been one driver, it's been another driver. And unfortunately, just not been lucky enough to get in that first place. But who knows? Could be tonight or at least some point in the season. He definitely has the speed to do so.
Bresci working over like 12th place right now, and he's gained 14 spots since the start of the race, so already looking pretty strong for a decent result as long as he keeps going at this pace. Up the road, our leader, Alec Martinez, still is leading, and he has led 27 of our 46 laps, but Nick Cohan has been tracking him down, and we also have a pass going on for 4th place. Whoa. Evans and Jeff Ward, that got a little dicey. Let's take another look at that.
I think this is a failed attempt by Jeff Ward, trying to check to the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact maybe.
Let's go back one more time. I don't think there was contact, but if there wasn't, it was really close.
Yeah, it might be slight.
Oh, yeah, you hit him. You got
a little bit of a tap, but didn't damage either car, but definitely sent Ward a little bit sideways, but he's still tucked in behind for 46.
And there's, big out of turn 4. Again, Nate Stewart to the inside, being very advantageous, getting around some slower traffic as Johnson and Pelletier got the fence out of 4.
See Johnson major damage to that right in front of his car.
And the car's not looking very racy right now. And Darlington, I feel like Darlington's a place where you get it right, and you keep getting it right until you get it wrong once, and then it just downhill from there. And then it just seems like every single lap you're hitting it. Just look at Clint Boyer in this other 500 this past week. Actually, I don't know if it was Boyer. It was someone of the Xfinity race, I think. Oh, it was Justin Allgaier that just kept hitting the wall over and over and over again. Once you hit it, you can never get yourself off of it. It's a bad habit to break. But Evans, running pretty quick laps right now, is actually quicker than the leader last time through by 0.003 of a second.
Yeah, he's catching DeBarro immediately up the road ahead of him, so I might be able to make a pass and move himself up in that 3rd place.
Right on board a lap with Greg Evans here as we negotiate turns 1 and 2. It is a slight lift, then you're going to get right back on the throttle, carry way out to that Darlington, South Carolina sign, then down to the white dotted line on exit. Oh, with the fence out of 2. That's not what you want to do.
Yeah, that's not what you want to do either. The car looked pretty unfazed by that contact. So.
Yeah, it was pretty slight contact, but then in 3 and 4, this is kind of all over the place. I've never really figured out how to run this corner. You can run it high, you can run it low, you can run it in the middle. It just depends on the driver.
With this package, that's what we saw in the cup race. You can run almost anywhere. Really get the line right what you're doing, no matter where you are running it. It can work. You just got to really get it right. So it's really just a matter of strategy and just how driver preference at that point.
So how about Matt Bell in the number 77? He is actually kind of stagnated in 7th place, and I'm sure he's thrilled about being here because, again, he was buried in almost 30th place after that pit road speeding penalty and played some strategy, got himself in position here, Finian, but I'm thinking about pit stops coming up relatively soon. We're 33 laps into the stint. Matt Bell's 41 laps into his stint, so pit stops coming up pretty soon here.
Yeah, man. So again, a lot of his laps so were a bit under caution, but so it's a lot closer than it seems. But still, he's going to have to come in earlier than a lot of the other guys around him. So he's on a slightly different strategy compared to everyone else.
Thomas Bresci up to 10th, and Zach Buchanan in 12th place right now, and he's got Nate Stewart trying to get by him, but Buchanan's still continuing his climb. It's slowed down just a little bit, but both these cars looking pretty strong. Stewart especially.
Yeah, Stewart is running, conveniently enough, a Tony Stewart paint scheme throwback to a paint scheme he ran for one-off in 2005. And yeah, so great paint scheme. And nice to also just see him moving up back to the field. I was hoping he would be able to cover because I just saw qualifying has a lot of pace, made a few mistakes early on, but it's starting to bring it back from what he did, so it might be able to bring him right inside the top 10.
Now look at him trying the other lane here, and this is where you really see the lane choice. Buchanan gains on entry, but Stewart's going to gain on exit. Look at the run he gets on corner exit to the inside of that quarter.
There's a little bit of that on exit, but he's side by side with Buchanan. Into turn 1, he's got the advantage. Actually backs off though once Buchanan have it. But actually a little bit loose on that entry.
Yeah, so he slipped up there a bit, so Buchanan will get the spot back for now. Jumping back up to the front again, checking in on our leader. 1.6 seconds is the gap between Martinez and Cohan. And it was down to about 1.1 seconds. It seems like Cohan's dropped off a little bit.
Indeed, yeah, he's slowly starting to drop back just a little bit. And also it seems into the clutches of his teammate, Anthony Barrow, sitting in third.
Barrow, is this a surprise? I mean, I know he's running in third, but did we expect him to come out here and lead the whole race? Because that's what I was expecting.
I mean, more or less, consider the first two races are anything to go. I see Lepcar get out of the way for the leaders, but yeah, it's been a really good start to his season. Hopefully finishing inside the top 10 so far, so very consistent for the 27, and looks like he's pretty much going to keep that going.
Ooh, there's a David Ruman throwback in the 0-0. That is Sam Crow. Or no, it's not Sam Crow. Sam Crow's in the 0-0. That's Don Runkle Jr. in the 0-0. And looking really, that's a beautiful paint scheme. Of course, to me, that immediately brings me back to the 2007 accident he had at Auto Club Speedway when Ruman snapped loose and hit the wall really, really hard. It was probably one of the most vicious impacts people had seen in that year, probably for a couple of years. That's what that scheme reminds me of. But Don giving it a decent run so far. One lap down. Not an amazing start to his night. Started 42nd though, so this is still a climb forward. Checking in on Greg Evans sitting in fourth. We just were looking at the 89 of Jeff Ward, him battling. Ward's kind of fallen off the pace a little bit, Finian. But again, it seems like Ward always sneaks in there at the end. I don't think he's a driver that's consistently at the front for most of the race. He kind of sneaks in at the end, kind of like a Harvick. He'll just kind of top 5 to death, and they'll sneak in there right at the end that last kill of lap.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, that's the thing is that we're on for a pretty solid green flag run at the moment, and once these guys are green, they usually stay green for quite a while, so it's going to be a little bit of a question mark if we're going to get to that next yellow. Probably on the pit stop, though, I think that's probably the most likely chance we're going to get a yellow flag with guys struggling to get down a pit road.
Well, the other thing to consider is that pit road's so far away from the racing surface that even if they spin, that may or may not trigger a yellow. I don't really know. We haven't seen enough for Darlington to know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. I already think really inconsistent in that department.
I mean, it's just like real NASCAR. So working our way through lap number 58, very even representation of manufacturers in the top 15 right now. Looks like we've got, 6 Toyotas, 4 Chevrolets, and 5 Fords.
Yeah, well, just looking at the front, it's 3 Toyotas in the lead. 2 different teams, Sim Motorsports in first, and then Disney Motorsports second and third.
Fun run for them so far. How about Norm Pelletier in this 56? How about this little fight here with Hensley? Lakatos is in there as well, behind the lap down car of Rick Thompson. But Pelletier has scraped the wall a couple times as he does there again, but has shown pings of greatness, hasn't really stepped out and won a bunch of races yet. I think we're expecting him to be better this season. I think he will be better this season. I think a lot more drivers have a grasp on this package, and I think we've seen the good drivers kind of come back into the clutches of the rest of the field in terms of drivers like DeBarro and Jeff Ward. It seems like, although they're still the top 10 drivers, I think the rest of the field's kind of caught up in that regard. Nate Stewart up to 12th. We talked about his progress all night long. And of course, he was our pole sitter. He's down 11 spots, but he's been as low as 33rd position, so it's been a wild night for him, as well as for the 77 of Matt Bell. And how about Bresci in this 24? Taking a look at Shane Ewing, this is for 9th place.
Yeah, he's got 9th ahead of him, and then also got Fernando and Bell shortly up the road, so Bresci has a chance to get much. He's getting a run off the corner, but nowhere to go. Stewart throws the block on him. Or sorry, Ewing throws the block. Actually,
I think he was just trying to get out of the way, and Bresci just chose the wrong lane there.
So Ewing's going to let him on by. Bresci up a spot. And now going to try to chase down Fambro and Bell up ahead.
So pit stops potentially underway. I see a couple drivers down here. I see that is Don Runkle Jr. and John Borth, who's number 86.
I can imagine we'll probably see other guys start to fall in as the run goes on.
So that begs the question: if you're Alec Martinez, you're leading this race by 1.6
seconds.
seconds.
Spin on the front straightaway.
I'm trying to figure out who that is. It's not Tyler Hensley.
Pelletier? I think it's Pelletier.
No, Pelletier. I should have looked at Pelletier right after that. I can take another look, though. I thought it was Pelletier. Number 56. I guess it was Pelletier. I picked him up and he was already back up to speed. Oh, he just got loose. This tells me that the tires are worn out enough to... Wow. Great save to keep that thing from hitting the fence, but... this tells me it's time to pit for the 56. I'm sure he feels the same way.
I'm sure he's going this time by just to get the hot tires off. And imagine they're really hot if you're just slamming on the brakes like that.
So, again, it begs the question, if you're Alex Martinez, you're leading this race by almost 2 seconds, do you just stay out to the end of the fuel tank? I mean, that's what I would think.
I would stay out as long as you can, because clearly he's as good as he is on this run as he was at the beginning. So, at the end of the run than he was at the beginning. So, you could just honestly just stay right off the fuel. I think that's the best thing to do, especially because, with all the guys coming down to pit road, someone's bound to make a mistake. You can bring out a caution and throw everyone off sequence. So, you're not losing anything from it. Just stay out, and if anything, you'll be better off in the next run.
Here's a driver we haven't talked about all night is Gale Brooks in the 71 car. Throwback.
Some variation of it.
I am too young for this car, admittedly. Looking pretty solid. Not a great start to the night for the 71. 2 laps down already. Already down to about 23 cars on the lead lap, Finney, and a lot less than I would have thought with 43 cars on the racetrack. But this track is a driver's racetrack. It really separates the men from the boys, so to speak, here. And it really does require a lot of patience, a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and perfection.
Yeah, also as a note too that some guys that are a lap down have come to the pits. I think the number's a little bit more than what it is
true.
at the moment.
You're probably right about that.
But so with more guys that are going to start going a lap down as this long run continues on. Still waiting for the leaders to decide to come down on a pit road.
I'm still looking to see some people in the top 20 make their way to pit road. I haven't seen a whole lot of people come yet. And Anthony Navarro, Greg Evans, these guys are getting pretty tight together here, Finney. And so if you're Greg Evans, you're beating the 27. I just say follow him in. I wouldn't try anything fancy if you're racing this guy this far.
Yeah, honestly, especially in some cases, try to just stay on strategy as close as you can with some of the guys around you, unless you're really confident with doing so. They see Tyler Hensley blow on by with fresh rubber.
Yeah, you can tell who's on fresh tires and who's not on fresh tires because they're just making everyone look like they're stopped.
Now, Bressy going for a pass on Colin Farnborough for 8th place.
Oh, real tight out of turn 4. That got a little dicey.
And Bressy's going to have him to give it back up. Made a nice dive into turn 3, but Farnborough was able to defend him off. Bressy's going to try all over again.
Oh, so close to that wall. And every lap, it seems like drivers are getting closer and closer. You see the line starting to rubber in as well.
And Bressy's been nailing that wall off because all of that bumper of Farnborough might be able to shove it to turn 3, and he's going to back off.
Try that again. Matt Bell sitting in 7th after he restarted in the lead. Of course, he's been out here a lot longer than everyone else. He's been out there, looks like 58 laps, so he's got to be getting really close to the end of his run here. So we have yet to see what the full fuel mileage is in these cars. I imagine 58 laps is getting pretty close to the end of it, so this 77 should hit pit road relatively soon. But the drivers that have come relatively recently, Tyler Hensley's come, Johnston has come, Don Ronco Jr., John Rodden, John Borst, Jared Dixon, the only drivers that have actually hit pit road so far for the second stop, so the third stop. Checking in up the road a little bit. Thomas George, the number 9. We haven't talked about him in a little while. But how about DeBarro and Evans closing back up again? And Jeff Ward's actually caught this group.
Yeah, Warren Eagles getting a nice solid run off of turn 4, but there's ahead of this group quite a few lap cars that they got in that game. You can see them pile up in the turn.
Yeah, a lot of lap traffic so far, especially with the pit stops kind of happening as well, so that's going to shift things around a bit. And also, some of these lap cars will be faster than the leaders because they've got fresh tires on, which is going to change the etiquette, I think, because even if you're a lap down, you're still guaranteed to have some racetrack. You're not supposed to just roll over. That's why the blue flag is advisory only. Still no one from the front group hitting pit lane. I do see Vic Bloom on pit lane, though, as well as the 4 of Casey Shue.
I'd try to see Bloom down on pit road. He ran really long on those tires.
So Vic is on the same strategy as the 77 of Bell, so when's Bell going to make that trip to pit road? I say Bell, I mean, actually, he's managed to make these older tires stick pretty well. I think he'll just try to pit with everybody else, provided his fuel hangs out long enough for that to happen.
He's done a great job keeping Fenro in behind him, though they collectively lost quite a bit of time to the top 6 up ahead. It looks like Cohen's down pit for one of the first leaders to come on down.
So Cohen hits pit lane, and I'm going to try to get on board with somebody when I expect them to be coming, just to see the pit road entrance.
I would imagine probably a lot of other guys are going to be coming in, following and Cohen. That's usually how this goes.
Evans and DeBarro stay on another lap. Nope. The corner speeds have dropped so much because of the old tires. Looking at our lap times, Finney, we're over 2 seconds slower. So it's a big advantage to come on in.
Nate Stewart's come down to pit road.
So is Zach Buchanan,
Whoa,
wow, to the
big
inside
pass.
of Jack, or who is that? Another lap down car to the inside. He managed to get that done. And here comes Jeff Ward. He's going to come on down, and look how far away from the racetrack this pit entry is.
Great job going in. You can make up, or coincidentally, on the inverse of that, lose a lot of spots. You see Greg Evans trying to pass on Cohen. So, depending on how.
Barrow.
Oh, sorry. Yes. But yeah, you definitely lose a lot of time on pit road entry if you don't time it right, especially if you miss it too, which is definitely a big case. Especially even in the Cup Series, a little pros missing it.
Leader down to pit road. Alec Martinez gets it woed down, hits pit road right on time, and DeBarro and Evans going to stay out longer. Interesting here. It means that Martinez will stretch his lead, but at what deficit to the guys at the end of next run here. So I'm curious to see how this all pans out. 76 laps in. If we go another, let's see, how long are we going here for most of these drivers? We can go at least 60 laps by the looks of it. As you see Greg Evans hit pit lane here. So 60 laps is going to take you to about 136. So you can really do it on 2 stops from here. I would imagine this is going to force DeBarro's hand here to pit road next time back.
Yeah, unless he really wants to try to just maximize the fuel at that point, he might be losing more than he's gaining. You see Bresci coming out of the pits inside. So we continue another lap.
Yes, DeBarro really playing the long game here. Wow, this Pelletier riding the wall through 3 and 4.
Oh, I think we got another spinner off the 4th. Don't know who it was.
See, there's a lot of people jumping around right now. I think, was it Hayden? No, Hayden Sorts is in pit lane.
I don't know, I think they might have gone on by.
Let's get another look maybe from high up above here.
I have to rewind a little bit further to this smoke that we came on by.
Never tell if it's blowing off in the pit lane.
Yeah, it was definitely not from the pit lane. It was a really big one off the track.
This track is wide, not a lot of pavement. Yeah, it was. They reset, so that was why we lost that. Oh, is the answer to that question? So a lot of action going on the racetrack right now, but it's different strategies kind of playing out here as DeBarro is going to head on down for pit lane.
Finally for him, so he's gone just about 60 laps.
Wasn't super aggressive on the entry, pretty conservative there, but didn't want to make a mistake. And Shane Ewing still out on the racetrack. And so it looks like we've got about 5 cars, and make that 4. And Ewing was really aggressive getting down to pit road speed, and he has got there. AC Lakatos, another driver that hasn't pit yet, and we know Lakatos likes to play fun strategies, so I imagine he'll stay out as long as he physically can. Almost 100 laps to go, though, so we're getting down closer to the halfway point of this race.
I think Lakatos is trying to lead a lap. Not sure if he did lead that lap. As it came across the line, might have just barely missed it. Doesn't matter, like I said, closing in behind him.
Hendricks, that's again that DW throwback. I'm a big fan of this paint scheme. I think Denny Hamlin ran a throwback to this scheme just the other night. It's a great looking race car. Another one of those timeless designs. Looks good on pretty much anything you throw it at. So our leader should cycle out to be Nick Cohan here, but here comes Alec Martinez. Back to the inside. I think Martinez, Cohan pitted later than the 54.
No, earlier.
Oh, he did. Okay, that's right. So this is actually swapping over. I'm thinking of the 89 and 46. So now Martinez should get the spot here.
Been trying the inside, wasn't able to get in. They got a lap car on the way. That's going to be a big factor.
That's Casey Shue going another lap down here.
Stanley 25 equals this time. Almost like got slow under a leader. Macy's gone this far. I think he's just really hoping for a caution.
Wow.
He's going to get it.
65 laps on fuel.
He's really pushing the fuel limit. I would imagine he's pushing it at this point because a lot of guys came in earlier.
So Martinez looking to the inside. This will eventually cycle out to be your leader. Who's it going to be, 54 or 21? It looks like Martinez is not going to be able to quite clear the 21.
If he makes a big enough dive into turn 1, should be able to get it right here. Here we go.
But every time that Cohan drives off in the corner and keeps that 54 on the bottom, he's wasting the 54's tires. So just being aggressive, this is going to hurt the 54 in the long run here. So this is great driving by Cohan. Great defensive driving to keep that 54 behind. But it's 7.5 seconds back to Greg Evans. So it's really just these two playing up front right now.
And also, right, these guys have gone only the top 15 remaining on the lead lap. Huge run from Martinez. Cohan goes down the block, and it looks like we actually were just trying to get clear of the lap car.
Yeah, couldn't finish that pass either. So Martinez, another bailout there down into turn number 1. Jack Andrick hits pit lane. He's going to jump in there from second place.
Cycled out for this run.
This is a great battle for the lead, and Cohan's doing a spectacular job. And taking a look at the tire situation, it's about a 3-lap tire difference, which is pretty significant. And Martinez dives to the inside again, trying to complete this pass before he hits lap traffic.
He's gonna have a run here in the turn 1, but he's not been able to dive off into the corner. Cohen's been using that to his advantage. They're still gonna be side by side.
Oh, together out of turn 2. Almost contact there if there wasn't.
Contact.
Yeah, it was pretty close. And the 54 drops in behind again. But again, this is really wearing out the 54 stuff, heating up his stuff. And Greg Evans has just been eating them alive. 7/10 quicker last time by for the 46.
Yeah, really using advantage of his fresher tires to bring that gap back down with 7 seconds now down to 6 and dropping. And see Martinez finally be able to clear the 21. So now that he's clear, let's see how far of a gap he's going to expand to. There's about 2 seconds, I believe, before they came into pit road.
Yeah, he's got to start running right now. He's not on equal tire strategy with everyone. It's kind of a mixed bag. Martinez is at a deficit to a lot of drivers behind him. The only advantage he does have right now is a pretty huge lead overall if you don't count the 21 of Cohan. It's another 5.3 back to Greg Evans. So Martinez has the upper hand right now. Let's see if he can make that lead last for the entirety of this run. But these runs have been going on for 50, 60 laps. If we don't see another caution for a while, we're going to see the long game drivers like Evans and DeBar maybe play this out to their favor. I think it's a pretty decent time for a SimTV Sound Surge. What do you think?
I was going to say perfect because I need to get some more water.
Why don't you give me a glass too? Thank you. 93 laps complete of 182 here at Darlington. It's the fourth round of the Mission 22 Cup Series season. Alec Martinez leads the way by 2.8 seconds over Nick Cohan, and then it's only 5.7 seconds back to Greg Evans from there. Cohan slipping into the clutches of the 46. But I think it's about time, Finian, to throw it back once again for a little longer this time. And here we go. So we got 89 laps to go here at Darlington Raceway, and Martinez leads Cohan now by 3 seconds. Finian, for Nick, this tire strategy really not playing out fantastically. He's slipping into the clutches of Evans pretty quickly, but Cohan's pretty fast, so if he gets back on strategy and he has enough tire and enough fuel to do that, I think he's easily a competitor for the win.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just kind of amazing the fact that even though he kind of wore out Alec Martinez a little bit, and even bumping into him at some points, he still lost so much time so quickly after Martinez got him by. It really is amazing.
Casey Shue in the 4. He's sitting in 13th, being worked over by Hayden Pistorius.
Yeah, Shue, the first car a lap down at the moment in 13th. It kind of is amazing how quickly everyone else is going a lap down. Next car in danger of that is Shane Ewing in 12th.
Hearing that Zach Buchanan had hardware issues and is out for the night in 26th. So we've actually lost a huge portion of the field, Finian. People just dropping out one by one from crash damage.
Yeah, a lot of people dropping from crash damage and also just issues in general. So really unfortunate to see. Well, we still got over 25 guys still running. About 27 or 28.
And let's be clear, Darlington is not known for the number of lead lap finishers.
Yeah.
It's a challenging racetrack. I think everybody knows that. And it's a long race. It's really a test of endurance as well.
In fact, I believe the first race that was ran in Darlington, I believe the guy who won it won by like almost 8 laps or something.
Well, I don't think we're going to have that kind of a margin tonight, but it's certainly looking like it might be a pretty decent sized lead as Martinez continues to stretch it out. Sam Crow in the 0 car, that's Justin Guthrie in the 18, and Guthrie's actually going to blow on by in this 18 machine. And Guthrie's been pretty solid this season. Hasn't really broken inside the top 5 a whole lot, but still a solid top 15, top 10 car, and working his way forward.
Yeah, he's been running solid, and that's really all you need at this point. Pamro's been running decently inside the top 10, just at 10th place. Nate Stewart, actually the car right ahead of him in 9th.
Yeah, this has been a really impressive showing for the 7 car. You talked about it coming over from the Fuel Super Truck Series. And is this his first start? I mean, it seems like it's... I haven't recognized the name, so it seems like for Nate, it's been a really solid start to the season, and he's got some yellow stripes on the rear bumper, and you would never know with the way he's been driving this evening. So excellent.
Got pole in his first start. I think if that's anything to really go by. Thomas Bressing moved himself up in 8th and trying to chase on 7th. He's got Matt Bell up in 7th. And can you just say Matt Bell, great pull in the strategy, and was able to maintain a solid 7th place on older tires and keeping some of these guys behind. And he's still competitive with those guys that he's holding up to. So solid job by him, although Bressy is looking pretty fast and behind him.
Yeah, Bell's been really impressive this season. Thomas George, we haven't talked a whole lot about him because he was probably a top 3 car, then he had 2 consecutive mess-ups on pit road. Hasn't really been quite as competitive since then. I think he needs a caution and maybe a good pit stop to get himself back up to win this race. But talking about the night we've had up front, it's been all the 54 and 21 show, but Martinez has been slowing down lately.
Actually, go back to the 54 car and look at the right side. Go to TV3. I think we'll be able to...
We're too close to the wall. And there definitely is some damage on that car.
Yeah, some damage to the right front. So I think that's what's been slowing him down, because the gap advantage of about 3 seconds has been slowly dropping quite a bit. So, and if anything, Martinez should be pulling away at this point. So definitely not looking good for the 54, as not only Cohen, but Greg Evans is also closing up in a blistering pace. As well, even DeBarro, too.
Yes, the 54 is off pace a little bit. Probably needs a caution to get that damage fixed. You can see the crinkle on the right front. Doesn't typically affect you a whole lot when it's a slight scrape, but it does make you drive more carefully because you don't want to hit it again, because then you're going to start racking up more and more damage, and it will eventually put your car out of the race like we've seen so many times tonight. So for the 54, not a great direction he's going. I want to talk about one driver we haven't talked about all night, is Liam Sheen. I know he's had issues early in the race. That car is destroyed, but a good-looking throwback on this race car. Is there a story behind this one that I need to know about?
Yes, give me 1 second. The computer's asleep.
Yeah, I think he's got his brand new laptop. What is it? A Razer
Stealth 13.
Stealth 13. And he's liked it so far, so if you're looking for a laptop, not sponsored, but please do.
I was gonna say they're on sale for a pretty good price considering the quality of them.
Hayden Pistorius got, I believe, in the wall. Let's quickly take a look, see what happened here. It's out of turn number 2. Oh, that was a big hit out of turn 2.
Wow, and some of these guys have done a fantastic job of saving their carts.
Yeah, so Hayden, that's not the first time he's been in the fence tonight, so damage continues for the number 19.
And if you want to go quickly back...
Oh, he hit it again!
Oh.
Is he going to be able to save it this time? And that's it for the 19,
yeah.
Yep.
If we want to quickly go back before this battle for second place heats up to Liam Sheen. His car is a throwback to IMSA, Morrison Motorsports number 96 car from 1995. It was a Corvette. Very nice looking car and a very fitting tribute to
it. It actually, I mean, it's funny. It's on a Toyota Camry of all things, but it is
close enough.
It looks good. It's a great looking paint scheme. Fits the stock car body very well, which is kind of neat to see.
So battle for second, heat up. Actually, battle for 13th was heating up too. As Casey Shoe makes a nice pass.
Yeah, I just wanted to take you back here real quick to take a look at Casey Shoe because he's had a pretty good climb forward. But you're right, that battle for second. Nick Cohan and Greg Evans putting the pressure on. Evans has really found some pace this race, and I theorized last season that it was because they took the downforce or the downforce, or they added downforce back. That's what hurt this 46. I think he needs drivers' racetracks, and I think Alec Martinez the same way. We saw this in Outsiders last year with Martinez, is that he did a lot better when the track temps were hot or they were on a difficult racetrack. I think Evans is the exact same way, and that's why we're seeing them run very well tonight.
Yeah, and again, this is really the Greg Evans we kind of expected to see last season, and he's finally really kind of returned back to form here as he's competing for the win here. With quite a bit ways to go here as he's closing on Cohen and Martinez.
Martinez is really struggling, although the lap times have dropped off. He's only losing about a tenth a lap to these guys now. He was losing a lot more, but there's some lap traffic in front of this battle for second as Evans dives to the inside.
Yeah, I was going to say someone's going to have to give, and it's going to be Evans that gives. Cohen's going to take advantage of Evans' kindness and run away with it off the corner, but not for long. Here comes Evans again with the run. To the inside he goes.
Yeah, Evans is carrying a lot more momentum right now. He's going to carry all that speed into turn number 3. And they're going to run side by side. Martinez is loving this because his damage doesn't seem to matter when these guys are fighting side by side into turn 4.
Yeah, just not enough as Cohen's going to be able to bring it around the outside. And Greg Evans is going to have to build up all that run again, although I still think Evans has the fastest car of the top 3 at the moment. So really, I think it's best for him to just kind of buy his time. Don't completely force the issue. You still got a decent ways to go.
It is a beautiful night for racing here at Darlington Raceway. We completed 108 of 182 laps. That puts us with 75 laps to go, about 10 to 15 laps away from our pit window here, Finian. And if Martinez can hang on a little bit longer, he's going to have a big upper hand on a lot of these guys because he's going to have control over the race as the leader.
See him dive in deep towards 21. Cohen's done a great job of keeping him in behind.
Battle all happening about 1.5 seconds behind leader Martinez. And I see DeBarro creeping into the picture behind Evans as well. That's that silver and orange car on the outside lane in the background. Ooh, Cohan shifting.
Yeah, I've noticed some of these guys shifting in 3 and 4, which is something I honestly didn't think you would do, but I guess it's not too out of the picture.
Really flirting with the wall there through 1 and 2. There is your leader. There's second. There's third. There's fourth.
We ways back, about 10 seconds back to Jeff Ward.
And
should be coming into picture now. There he is.
There's Jeff Ward. That's a big gap here. So really the front 4 in a league of their own. And Cohan and Evans continue their fight, and DeBarro is approaching. Well, let's watch from his perspective here.
And Cohen finally lets Greg Evans on by. He's going to try to do a crossover, but just not enough of a run. So Greg Evans finally gets himself up into second place. Now can he chase down that 54 in time?
Now, if I'm the 54 and I'm still losing time to these guys, you know what? I'm just going to accept it at this point. I would let them get on by. If I was Martinez, I would just play the long game right now. Go as long as you can and overcut these guys as best you can, because I don't really think you're going to want to be on bad tires towards the end of the race. You're going to want to have the best advantage you can. Cohan slipping now into the clutches of DeBarro. DeBarro gets on through.
I think that's Cohen just admitting that DeBarro is a little bit faster, so we're going to let him try to chase down the leaders here.
And a push off into turn 3.
And a nudge for good luck there for his pursuit.
And wow, look at Don Rocco Jr. on some fresh tires to the inside.
Wow, ripping around below the white line. And we saw a lot of that in the actual Cup race. A lot of guys running below that yellow line, below that dotted white line in 3 and 4. Not so much in this race.
Casey Shue and Derek Paulson. This is fighting for 14th and 15th place. I haven't talked about Derek Paulson yet tonight in that 60.
Yeah, it's been a fairly quiet night in the middle of the field for that 60 car.
And a light breathe on the throttle for 1 and 2, then getting right back in the throttle. And you look how much momentum you can carry in that outside lane. Diamond right on the corner exit, right up against that safer barrier.
Yeah, he's timing just right. You can see the run that he gets on Casey Shue here as he tries to make a pass on this 4 car.
Ooh, Shue bounces off the fence, throwing sparks in the air to the inside of the turn 4. Here comes Paulson.
Yeah, Shue did a great job trying to pinch him down, make him lose the momentum. Paulson going to try to side drop off into turn 1. Someone's going to have to give here.
And Paulson gave for a second. Leader has not really fallen into the clutches of Evans just yet. It has closed to touch that gap, but it's still 1.2 seconds. And I think now we're pretty much within our fuel window here, so I think you're going to start seeing people peel off. Maybe go a little bit longer here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's going to get a little bit close at this point. I think you're going to want to get around 60 to really kind of be safe. In fact, actually, how much do these guys have left?
They're on lap number about 40 of their stint, so they could go until about 50 to go. I think a lot of drivers will do that. I think if you're towards the rear of the field, you got nothing to lose, you might as well try coming in early and just hoping maybe for a yellow to get you back on sequence here.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, you're going to be laps down if you pit, so maybe that's not the best strategy. But we only have 11 cars on the lead lap. We still have about 26 of them running. So the night has begun to fall here at Darlington Raceway, and the battles continue around the racetrack. Shue and Paulson, they continue to fight. This battle is not relinquished yet.
Yeah, it's not died down at all. Shue's done a great job keeping Paulson in behind him, not letting him on by.
But for the lead, Finian, Alec Martinez, I'm not going to pull away from this just yet, but I will take you there in a moment. Alec Martinez, his lead has been cut in half the last 10 laps, so Evans has begun to reel in the 54. And there is the gap right there, these two.
Yeah, actually, we can quickly look at the battle for 5th place between Ward and Thomas George. It's been heating up for quite a while.
Yeah, and Thomas George has been running just a touch quicker than
You
Ward.
see him get a huge run down the straightaway compared to the 89, but he loses quite a bit of it on in the corner as he looks to the inside of Ward.
Out of turn 4, they're going to continue their fight. And maybe George will try to dive underneath in turn 1. No, he's going to set himself up for maybe turn 3. Oh, big hit for the 89. Slide in turn number 1 and 2, and he's going to lose a lot of ground there as well.
A decent save there. Could easily collect the 9 as well, but that's going to really ruin the rest of his race.
Yeah, here's another look at that from a slightly different angle here. I think he just gets up a little bit too hot, gets into the wall, bounces off. Did a really good job holding on to this thing, but wow, the 9 car George slid right on through. Heading back up to the front, it's Martinez and Evans, 0.4 of a second between them.
Yeah, really starting to close on in. As well as DeBarro, too. You have to keep an eye on that 27 car. He's slowly merging into the picture. He's really closing distance to the point where, you know, if he does anything on strategy, it can put him in the lead compared to these other guys.
Evans has chased down Martinez, and now we have a battle for the lead. 63 laps to go, and the 46 is here. He's been trying to get a victory for a while. He won at Martinsville back in the fall to get himself one of the victory before the season is out, but he is still hungry for more. Martinez struggling with the handling of that race car right now. Got in the wall out of turn 4 and trying to keep that 46 behind him.
Yeah, this is getting kind of old for him. I'm curious on how hard Martinez is going to fight, especially with pit stops up and coming.
I mean, why not fight, right? I mean, it's you and Evans and DeBarro, and then 2 seconds back to Cohan, and then 10 more back to George. There's not a whole lot of risk in maybe driving a little hard here for a couple laps.
Oh, I'm not thinking more tired. I'm thinking more just, you know, getting yourself involved in an incident.
Yeah, you don't want to hit the wall.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of more worrying, especially considering he's got some decent damage to that car in the right front, enough to slow him down. So I'm curious if he's willing to risk fighting for it, potentially with a wreck, considering how hard it is to pass, especially for the lead.
Well, you know what a win means, Finian? At the spot in the Fuel Finals. And I don't think that can be understated. With how many cars we have entered as the 54 gets in the wall again in 3 and 4, I don't think the importance of a win can be understated, especially at a racetrack like this. You need to get a win to make sure that you're in, because with this many competitive cars in the field, you're not guaranteed a spot in the Fuel Finals with a victory. So you better get one, and you better get one pretty soon.
Yeah, fastest of the top 3 last time through was Anthony DeBarro with a 29.658 compared to Greg Evans' 29.7 and Alcon's 29.8. So DeBarro really closing in on these guys, and Evans is going to kind of have to act fast before DeBarro gets there, although he's pretty much already there.
And DeBarro closing in as well. So 59 laps to go. The sun has set on the lady in black. The walls are stained with the paint from the cars, and the cars are stained with the paint from the track. And the track too tough to tame has been too tough for most of the field, but for the lead, Greg Evans takes a look to the inside of the back straightaway, and for the first time in a while, someone other than the 54 Martinez is going to peek ahead and try to lead this race, but Martinez says no. He's going to try to drive around the outside, drag race down the front straight, 58 to go.
I think Evans is going to have him here. You see him pull out to try to avoid Martinez's side draft, and there's him clear into turn 1. So Greg Evans, your new leader, just ahead of Martinez. And can Martinez hang on, or is he going to fall into the clutches of DeBarro here as he's caught up now to these guys?
Martinez has led by a huge majority, more laps than everybody else, but now he's on a little bit of a defensive run here. And will he be able to maintain his composure with the championship leader, Anthony DeBarro, sitting in 3rd place right now?
Imagine if DeBarro wins this race, there'll be 3 out of the 4 starts the season going to that 27. An absolute dominant performance, and has a shot at it as he easily makes a pass on that 54 of Martinez, and now going to set his sights on the 46, who's already started to pull away.
Yeah, so what's your plan? If you're Alec Martinez, how do you approach the rest of the race from here? Do you pit before the leaders, or do you pit after? What's your move?
I mean, I would say probably, see how well you're hanging on with them in this current run. And he probably isn't going to be hanging on too long, so I think best is probably to hit after these guys and just kind of run it out as much as you can, unless it's too bad for Barry running.
So taking a look at our race information so far, Finney, we've had 12 lead changes, which is pretty darn good for Darlington. Only 2 cautions for a total of 4 caution laps. In terms of caution lap percentage, this has got to be one of the lowest races we've seen in a long time. I've been really happy with how this has gone so far. But we're closing in on 50 to go here. And now the pit stops going to get interesting here. Let's take a look at our stint. 51 laps for the leader, and for everyone else about 50 as well.
Pit window is pretty much open here as we're coming in, we're about 54 laps to go. So you can pretty much easily cut your stint in half for stint right about now. And as I say that, here comes Anthony DeBarro in to make his potentially final stop of the race.
Yeah, this should be the last stop if we go green to the end. I expect we should go green to the end. Of course, the pit in and pit out is always a little sketchy, but DeBarro gets down to speed. How does Evans respond? How does Martinez respond?
If I was Evans and Martinez, honestly, actually Martinez...
His position has changed, and it's always a strategy now at this point.
Honestly, I think to change what I said earlier, I think he should probably come in as soon as he can with these guys.
What about Cohan? What's his move?
I think more or less the same. I don't think he wants to run too long unless he really feels he can charge back up to these guys.
So Martinez has led 95 of our 129 laps. Greg Evans has led 5.
Yeah, and actually with that, Martinez is easily going to take most laps led.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone else that has a big enough percentage to
I was going to say, well, he actually has led more than half the laps.
Oh, okay. So yes, he has clinched it. Thank you for the math. So waiting for the pit stop sequence to really get underway, we've seen the 27 come on down. Are you surprised that DeBarro came as early as he did?
No, it was pretty much just as I was saying it. Cut the stint pretty much in half as far as the tire life. So he's just trying to get the most out of the tires he's given. That could help him here.
Jeff Ward, he's going to hit pit lane here. And Jeff Ward comes in from 5th. He was running as high as 2nd earlier in the race, as low as 16th. Comes on in now for his final stop of the night. Presumed we go green to the end. Thomas Bresci in as well. I expected this 24 car, with how fast he climbed through the field, I was expecting him to get a little higher up the grid, but we still have a little ways to go, so maybe he can in the last little bit.
I think he just got put back so far, really, time-wise compared to everyone else. He really doesn't have a whole lot of room to really gain, and I think that's really been his biggest struggle. So as you see him getting service to his car and finally back on the way Still is in the top 10, so I imagine that's probably where he's going to finish, unless he makes a mistake. But Nick Koa coming on down, as well as Greg Evans.
And Martinez going to follow him in. Wow, aggressive on entry. Hope he got it down to pit road speed there, Finian, but he did make up some time. A whole lot of it.
Oh, no, he definitely sped.
Let's go back and look.
He came in at 60, and it took him a really long time to slow down.
Let's go back and take a look at this here. To be pretty close. He might have been able to give up some of that time. We're going to see here. But Alec Martinez has been the dominant car of the night. He's not going to beat this 46 off of pit lane, but he's going to have to hope he's got more pace. I think he does have more raw pace than most of the rest of the field here. Maybe the 21's got something to say about it on fresh tires, but...
Well, I'm really curious if he got a speeding penalty. If he didn't, I will be absolutely shocked.
Well, we're not sure until he leaves the box, and even then...
Let's see.
No, he's good!
Wow.
And now he's going to not speed off of pit lane. I think he's good. So I think Martinez got away with one there. And I think overall, I don't know if he gained or lost time on Evans. Looks like he ended up losing some. He was about 2 tenths slower on the stop and 4 tenths slower in pit lane.
Yeah. Actually, funny thing, Evans and DeBarro ran exactly the same pit delta. And even the same pit stop. So they're as even as it could be on pit road. Obviously, entry and exit's a little bit different, but we'll see if Evans now, who is kind of on the back foot.
Oh, this is going to get dicey. Liam Sheen right in front of the 54. He's trying to chase down that 46 that's up the road, so Martinez is going to be on a flyer, and he's going to try to get around the one.
He's got Cohen right behind him as well.
And Cohan's going to use this momentum, because the one car really did hold up to 54. Now Cohan drops to the inside. But I think Martinez has a position of strength here on the outside, but he's going to get held up in the 71 on exit. Right in front of these guys, the battle that will eventually cycle out to be for second place. And Martinez just got the short end of the stick twice there in a lap.
He got screwed in lap traffic there, and both with the 1 and the 71. Just really unfortunate timing. And that's going to easily give Cohen the spot.
Yeah, that was really not what the 54 needed. That was a frustrating altercation there. Nothing those guys did wrong. They're allowed to use the racetrack, but 54 really bad timing there.
It looks like he's starting to catch Cohen back, so he only has the pace to at least maintain with the 21. So.
Yeah, I do think he has been the quickest car most of the night. I don't know if he has the fastest lap. He does not. DeBarro does.
So, still waiting on... I believe Shane Ewing is still yet to come down.
Yeah, we're a lot of these guys. Shane Ewing, Thomas George just hit pit lane. Shane Ewing and Casey Lakatos, the only other drivers left to hit pit lane. Lakatos is probably just hoping for a yellow at this point. Might stay out a little longer. So we're past 50 to go here at this point, closing in on 40 laps to go. Predictions to the end as Martinez takes a look to the inside of Cohen.
Honestly, I think Evans might have him here. I think he's looking a little bit faster than that 27 on the run, and it's got fresher tires to work with when he catches, or potentially catches, the 27.
Cohen really cutting it close with the wall there on corner entry. My prediction, I think this 54 is going to get by the 21. I think he's going to set sail on the 46. I think he gets there. I think some lap traffic's going to come into play, as we've seen most of the night. And the 21 dives to the inside of Guthrie, and Martinez will as well. Only a matter of time, I think, before this 54 gets back up the road. Lakatos hits pit lane. And Nate Stewart up to 6th place. How about this run by our pole sitter tonight?
It's been a great rebound drive for him up in his 6th place. We'll see if he can maintain there. He's got some nose damage from some point as he actually gives another bump to the 25. And that is Marshall Stanley there with a throwback to...
You gotta just... Why is your laptop sleeping so fast?
I don't know. Look, I haven't really been using it actively.
Moving up back to the lead, it's DeBarro that's got the top spot right now. He's actually extended his lead a little ways here, but he's got much older tires than the drivers behind him. A 5-lap difference between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I do think that DeBarro is kind of in a comfortable spot here. It's a 5-second lead. They're only catching him 2 tenths a lap. I don't know if that's enough.
I mean, he might, let's see, 2 tenths a lap.
Well, I mean, it's enough mathematically. I just think the tires will even out before they get to that point.
Well, that's, again, that's if he's pushing. So he could be saving just a little bit, saving a bullet in the gun just for the end here, so. Yeah, because we know
Well, the water is not good. Our ice cubes taste funky.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
But yeah, I think Evans is definitely conserving a little bit and trying to catch DeBarro at a decent pace. to not completely burn up his stuff. We definitely know he's got the talent to do something like that, so I think he might be able to get to DeBarro.
Well, quickest car on the racetrack last time by, perhaps no surprise to me, 28.0 for the 54. Next was a 28.13, or actually at that point it was a 28.056, I believe, for Nick Cohan. And Greg Evans, so it really, last time by, Cohan was the quickest, Alton Martinez was the second quickest, Greg Evans was third, and DeBarro was fourth. So kind of shuffle this around on speed and pace here.
Evans making his way through some lap traffic. Looks like he's going to have some clear racetrack up ahead of him for at least a little bit. He can finally focus on setting some solid times to bring down the 4-second deficit between him and Evans.
What's our chance for a yellow these last 40 or so laps?
Honestly, not considering the way you guys have been running the lower amount of cars that we've had throughout the race, I think pretty slim at this point. Obviously, the chance is still there, but I think it's significantly lower than at the beginning of the race.
So Greg Evans currently scored second place. The driver that he's fighting with is 0.8 of a second behind him, but that is Thomas George.
Thomas George is in 8th, 1 lap down. To kind of just put you in perspective how this race has gone.
Yeah, we're in a really weird spot right now where only 7 cars are on the lead lap, but everyone's still slicing and dicing for position, which is kind of throwing everybody around for a loop here. So again, last time by lap times, Cohan and Martinez ran dead even at a 28.623, Evans a 28.572, DeBarro a 29.005. So DeBarro's lead is shrinking, but it looks like Evans and Cohan might be the ones to watch here. I don't know if Martinez looks like he's got that pace up quite enough to get up there.
He's starting to fall off before he's even got to...
He's right. Last time he's kind of trading back and forth with Cohan because he ran quicker 2 of the last 4 laps in the 21, and then Cohan and him ran dead even the other 2 laps. So they're pretty close. I think Martinez just doesn't have the track position. Evans, however, is running quicker than... Actually, last time by was an awful lap for Evans, a 29.2. But it was still quicker than DeBarro, who was 29.3 the last time by.
Yeah, there we go. Much better lap, 28.2 for Evans last time by. To Cohen's 28.9.
So lead down to a 3.1 second gap. So I thought this 27 would kind of stabilize here, but it doesn't really look like that. It's still about 3 to 4 tenths a lap that Evans is closing.
I think he's going to get there probably with 20 to go.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens when the 46 does get there. How much will they fight, and will the 21 and 54 get into that fight once these two start getting at it? Because there's only about 7-8 tenths of a second between Cohan, Evans, and Martinez, so it's going to get pretty dicey as they all catch each other. Darlington Raceway, what a beautiful course this is. We're 147 laps into a 182-lap race. And so far, our race information, 15 lead changes, 2 cautions for 4 laps. It's been a really clean night overall, even though we've seen a lot of cars retire. Not a whole lot of multi-car incidents, which is good to see. Leader right now is Anthony DeBarro by 2.5 seconds over Greg Evans, and it's Cohan, Martinez, Bresci. Got himself into the top 5, finishing impressed with that 24. Then it's Nate Stewart, Ward, George, and Fambro and Bell. The rest of your top 10.
Bresci's done a great job on playing that strategy. It looks like Ward's catching Nate Stewart in a hurry. You see Thomas George unlapping himself finally. And actually there you see Ward and Stewart right up the road as Ward tries to make a pass on Stewart for 6th place.
This is the challenge for guys like DeBarro and Evans. They're lapping cars, but these, for all intents and purposes, are not lap cars. They're technically, yes, but they're racing.
I'm going to say they're
they're not a lap down because they're slow. They're just a lap down because of the strategy.
They're in the spots that most of the races you consider in the group called the leaders. So yeah, it's kind of insane that they're in danger of going a lap down. Here they are side by side, and actually Thomas George.
Yeah, this is a 3-way fight for 6th here.
And I think George is going to have the easiest hand in this. He's got significantly fresher tires than these 2 guys ahead of him.
And this is not what Anthony DeBarro wants to see, because DeBarro is right behind this mess, and Evans is only 8 tenths back into turn 3. A push from the 7 of Nate Stewart to the back of Jeff Ward, and sends him off into 3 way up the racetrack. Here comes George on through.
Yeah, I think DeBarro's just sitting there hoping that these guys sort it out.
Oh, he can't sit there, because look who's coming.
Well, he's catching them, hoping that they're going to sort out by the time he gets there.
3-way battle for 6th, still heating up. And even Thomas Bresci is only 1.8 seconds up the road, so there's still more potential for fighting. But meanwhile, as we watch this battle, this change in position for 6th place as George goes to the inside. Behind them, the battle for the lead is on. We thought DeBarro would be able to run away. He has not been able to. Evans is closing, and he is there with just over 30 laps to go.
finally caught up to him. He's got a decent gap too. Cohen's stuck in quite a bit of traffic in behind. You can see he's working through that group of cars. And meanwhile, Evans all over the back bumper of the bar. Bar taking the inside line, trying to take it away from Evans. But here comes that 46 with the run on the back straightaway.
Yeah, we're past the point of giving it up here, Finney. These guys are going to race tooth and nail. With 30 to go, you don't give any room. You're going to use everybody up. DeBarro scrapes the wall.
Doing so, using up all the track that he can, DeBarro hit the wall. That's going to give Evans a little bit of a run, but Evans is not looking for it. I think Evans is only going to make the move once he knows he can. He doesn't want to waste time battling that 27.
Nose to tail, bumper to bumper as they work their way through 1 and 2. Greg Evans is the quicker car, but they are both slower than the trailing cars of Cohen and Martinez, because they are fighting. The drivers behind them are not. Cohen is clear of traffic. He's got a couple more cars to negotiate.
He's got Fambro and Stewart right up ahead, so those are going to be difficult cars to kind of get around.
You see him there. That's the red car on the far right of your screen, just about to be eclipsed right there. But for the top spot still in contest. DeBarro picked up some time a little bit and ran quicker than Evans, but Evans takes it right back to him. He's running his bumper out of turn 2.
You see Evans taking a different line. Here he comes now with the run. He's going to have a look into turn 3.
You need to be able to clear this 27. You're not going to be able to do this if you run side by side. DeBarro around the outside, scraping the wall door to door.
And Evans is trying to force the 27 out of it, but couldn't get it done. So now that made them both lose a lot of time to that 21, who's now closing in.
Yeah, no, Cohen's actually running pretty quick. Alec Martinez has fallen off. He's about 1.8 seconds back from Cohen, but Cohen is closing as these two battle. The 46 needs that outside lane. Is he willing to rough up the 27 with under 30 to go?
I think now it's kind of, all bets are off for these two, and they seem to give a little bit of a nudge to the 27. And I imagine Evans is going to, be a little bit aggressive with this. I mean, considering the season he had last season in the Fuel Cup Series, only one win that came in the chase at Martinsville. I'm sure he wants to definitely turn his luck around, and this is the best time to do it. He's got the win in his sights with under 30 laps to go. And he's going to do almost anything he can for it. They seem to switch back to the inside once again.
Yeah, the 46 of Evans carrying a lot of speed. This time he's going to drive off into the corner, try to get alongside that 27. He is there, but you don't think he's able to complete the pass. If he stays alongside through here, he might be able to do it. Side by side for the lead, closing in on 20 laps to go. And Evans needs to drive up in here. Wasn't able to do it. DeBarro still holds the lead, and Cohen is closing.
Yeah, DeBarro just forced Evans down to that inside. Evans had nothing to do. Couldn't really do anything but back off. Now here comes Cohen closing in. So this battle for the lead, this two-way fight for the lead, turning into a three-way one soon.
The sun has set in the distance, but for the lead, the fireworks are about to shoot off. DeBarro leads the way by 0.2 of a second with 25 laps to go. Greg Evans sits in second with no way around, and Cohen is closing on both of these cars. Here's your leaders. Down the back straightaway, Evans takes another look, but I think he's gotten wise now that the inside is not the place to try to make a pass. He's going to maybe try to squeeze in on the outside, but DeBarro has it covered.
Yeah, I think really Evans' best shot is to make the pass in turn 1. There you see him with the run off. The corner's going to have a little bit of a look. No, can't get the look.
Will he try to shove the 27 off into the corner, then dive underneath him? No, he's not going to use that yet. Bump and run at Darlington might be too big of a racetrack to make that happen without wrecking the guy, but I think we might see somebody try. We're running out of laps. Evans is being patient with this. No need to rush it. He has 5-lap fresher tires. DeBarro is struggling right now.
And here you see him come over. Yeah, it's couldn't get him back off, try to get that line. I'm curious if Evans is going to try anything maybe in the last lap. I mean, here's the thing. I have nothing against DeBarro, but I mean, and has 2 wins, and if they get to the last lap, worse, he finishes as 7th. So, I don't think Evans will feel too bad about doing anything, but I think Evans is probably going to do this as speed as he can. He's been giving the 27 a lot of respect here, and both of them have.
The frustration of last season got to Greg Evans at Martinsville. He bullied and shoved everybody out of his way, wrecked half the field, but he won the race, Finian. And the car behind him, that's Nate Stewart, slides out of the way, but he'll maintain control of the race car. But I was going back to Greg Evans last season. So much frustration in the 46 camp. They didn't have it figured out. He figured it out at Martinsville. A rough and tumble about it. He wasn't shy using the bumper there. I don't think he'll be shy today. A win means a spot in the Fuel Finals, but look who's shown up. Here comes Cohen to the inside.
Speaking of a spot, here comes Cohen. Also didn't really have much of a great run in the Fuel Cup Series last season. Towards the end, kind of died off. He had a really good run at the beginning of the season. not so much later half, but here he is yet again back in full form, better than ever here for the front. So three-way battle for the lead here. 20 laps to go.
Cohan could have been a championship contender last season. Things didn't align, they didn't work out, but the opportunity is anew for 2019, and it takes a look at the 27 and 46 as these guys continue their fight.
They got some lap traffic up ahead. Whether it'll get on the way or not is yet to be determined.
20 laps to go here at Darlington Raceway. The track too tough to tame. Who's going to tame it tonight? The Lady in Black.
It's going to be one of these three.
I don't think they call it the Lady in Black for nothing here, Finian. It's not a racetrack that you take lightly. It's a track that you don't typically race your competitors. You race. Oh! The 46 gets turned hard in the fence down in turn 3 and 4.
No.
Fambro gets torn up as well as the 7.
Oh, and he's still getting into the 46.
Crash. The 46 torn up. This changes everything.
Yeah, and after a really, really long green flag run there, it was 120, 140 laps. He finally got a caution and wasn't expecting it from the lead, at least this early on from the lead.
So it was the 46 of Evans going around off the bumper of Cohan. You know who'd love to see that, Finian? This guy.
Yeah,
Martinez.
Yeah, that puts him back in it. Also, even too, Jeff Ward, because he was actually just about to go a lap down to the leader, so he just got saved from that as well.
So let's go back and see what happened here. And of course, the 27 and was this down in 1 and 2? I think it was 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
And yeah, Cohan just drove off in there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by that. That was a really late dive on the 21.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He wasn't there. I mean, he wrecked him. That's all I can say about that one.
I've always, man, I can't imagine Greg Evans, after showing these guys as much respect as possible.
Yeah. I don't know. You can't really defend that. I mean, there's not really a whole lot you can do. Fambro had nowhere to go. There's not really a lot you can do to, to defend. I mean, you can, we'll let the court of public opinion judge that one. But
I mean, maybe with 2 to go.
Yeah,
maybe. But with 20.
Yeah, I think.
That's a little bit impatient there.
You're gonna be hard pressed to find someone that thinks that this was a legitimate move here. Looks to the inside, and the 46 cuts across, but that was too late to make a dive.
There's no way you're making a move.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean,
maybe in 1 and 2.
This might be our road course heads coming in here and saying he didn't have the right to the corner, but. I think that's too late.
Yeah, here, like on another track where you have a few other lanes, sure, but there's 2 lanes maybe in this corner.
I don't know.
And barely one of that. So.
All right. Well, I don't know if we've.
Out there.
I don't know if we missed something already. I don't see any damage on the back of the one yet.
Oh!
Maybe we should go back and look at this again.
I'll be surprised if he didn't do anything.
Here's a look. This was after the pit stop sequence. Everyone did come down to pit road. And I don't think there was any funny business here.
Yeah, let's go back. I think before the pit stops happened, I feel like we might have seen some stuff there because I don't really remember Cohen having damage to the rear car. No, go before they came to the pits.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember the 21 having rear damage either, so that makes me wonder. I'm not thinking he was there. I don't think there was any argy-bargy.
Yeah. Huh. I guess he did have damage before then.
Yeah, well, either way, I don't know if they've settled this out amongst themselves, but it is what it is. It's Darlington. Yeah. I would classify that as oval racing in a nutshell. I think with 20 laps to go, maybe a bit of an ambitious move, but hey, you're going for the win. You know it's a fuel final spot. Both these drivers are desperate to win. No one's going to back off, and I think we saw that there. Yeah. Pit stops have occurred, by the way, and we have reset our top 4, and they are pretty much exactly the same, except Cohan has traded spots with Evans. Evans, though, a lot of damage to that car. I don't know if it's going to be competitive.
Yeah, well, on the bright side, there's only 9 cars in the lead lap. It was 8 before the caution came out, but 9 after Nate Stewart got the free pass under that last wreck. So that puts him back on the lead lap.
And he was lucky because he actually got involved in an incident. He bounced off the fence pretty hard in 3 and 4, just locking up the brakes to miss it.
I'm actually surprised none of these other guys stayed out. If I was one of the other guys a lap down, I would definitely stayed out. Well, actually, quite a few of them did. Okay.
All right, so 1 to green. It's going to be a 15-lap shootout to the end. Oh boy, Finian, who you got this time?
I gotta say Borrow because.
Okay, well, that's not a creative pick.
Well, no.
Green is not a creative color, Finian.
Here's my thing. I would say Cohen, but that 46 is starting right behind in third, and I can't imagine he's too elated with that 21.
No,
so,
I don't think there's.
So
any, well,
I think that might remove those two from the equation.
The problem for the 54 is he's between these cars.
He's in the splash zone.
Yeah, that's
so.
I guess you could call it that.
So I don't think he's gonna have to find some way around out of this mess. I'm not even sure if he knows what happened too, so he might not even be aware.
Well, through 3 and 4, 15 laps to go at the track too tough to tame. The field doubled back up.
Only 9 cars on the legal lap with a shot at the win at the moment.
Pace car is off. DeBarro chooses the inside lane. Cohan with the aggressive move at the tail end of that green flag run. Does he have anything for the win? Green flag back in the air. 15 to go at Darlington.
And a solid start for DeBarro. I imagine Cohen's going to try to do what he can to get around his teammate, and actually looks like Martinez is going to loop around the 46 of Evans. That car doesn't look too good.
It's not looking great at all. He's going to get stacked up.
Here comes Thomas George, the inside, the 32. Also going to Archie Ewing, and also 24 of Bresci, and the 17 too.
Cohan for the lead, down in 3 and 4, trying to get the top spot away from DeBarro.
Oh, don't count out this 54 Alec Martinez. He's got fresh tires. We've definitely seen he's better on the earlier run, at least it seems. Rather than the later ones, and he might have something for these guys.
Does he have anything for these 2 leaders? He's led the most laps tonight. He's got that clinch, but DeBarro's in the wall. He's crashed in turn 2. Here comes Cohan to the inside.
And that might have cost him the win there. Oh,
no,
behind
46.
him. Greg Evans hard into the wall. No caution, though.
We stay green up front. The 21 is taking the lead away. The 54 scraped the wall in 3.
Here comes the 9
of Thomas George. Where did he come from?
Yeah, remember, he made a big error on pit road. Had to suffer with that mistake for 140 laps. And finally has gotten the track position back. Here he's fighting for the lead. DeBarro trying to make up for his mistake a lap ago.
Now we're going to find out which one really is quicker. Is it the 21 or is it that 54? Out of turn 2. Battle for the lead. Here comes Martinez. He led the most laps. Can he lead the final 12? Here comes the 27. Dives down the inside in turn 3.
And you see DeBarro hugging that white line on the inside. I don't think he's going to have anything with the 54 off the corner.
Ooh, Cohan goes a little defensive here, trying to break the draft with the 54. The draft very strong with this new package. 12 laps to go.
Martinez definitely used it to his advantage. He made a lot of good passes earlier in the race.
Here he comes.
Here he comes. Turns 1 and 2. Gonna bring one off the corner. Gonna give the 21 a little bump. Gotta be careful not to turn him.
Yeah, the 21 threw a huge block there, and when you can block once, you try to do it twice, you're gonna get yourself dumped. So the 21, he made his move there. I think he made it clear to the 54 that he's not gonna lay over for this, and Martinez is gonna know that next time. I think we might see a bumper again before the race is over. 11 laps to go at the track too tough to tame. Cohan leads the way. Martinez, DeBarro, your top 3. George and DeBarro now fighting for that 3rd spot. They're waiting in the wings. These top 2 could get messy here again.
Anyone in this top 4 is going to shot at the win at this point. They're so close together, especially if these top 2 make a mistake on the pass.
Wow, so close to that outside wall is the 54. Tries to cross over on exit. Lost a little bit of ground there. I think he got too close to the wall and panicked a little bit.
It kind of looks like the 54 Martinez is losing a little bit of steam here.
Well, he was really good through 1 and 2, and he gains a lot of momentum, but it's not easy to pass down on this end of the racetrack.
He gets through this corner fantastically. Best out of probably anyone in this top 4.
This 3 and 4 has just been a struggle, and he's got to complete the pass in this 21 before he gets to this corner, because he's really tight on the entry here, and you see the 27 so much better through this section of the racetrack. Ooh, Cohan almost hit the wall there out of 4, though. 10 will go, make it 9 as the 54 tries to close in. Top 4 battling for the lead. Does it get any better than this?
Yeah, not really. I think this is pretty much the best you can ask for. 4 guys racing for the win here, and the closing lap under 10 to go.
Yeah, the 54 still is a lot quicker through the fast end of the racetrack, but it's not the place that you necessarily want to be faster. I think you want to be better at 3 and 4 to set yourself up for a pass on the front straight.
We definitely see most of the passes being made from setting up in 3 or 4 and then making a nice dive inside of 1. You can't really do the same on the opposite side of the racetrack as you're saying, but you get such a nice run in 1 and 2. You might honestly want to have to try to make something happen in turn 3 here, considering the runs you're getting.
Well, maybe he's saving up, going to make a move and try to knock this 21 out of the way. I think the 21's made his intentions clear. I think now it's time for the 54 to be decisive. But you see, the 54 slows up mid-corner. He doesn't have the mid-corner rotation that the 21 has.
Yeah, especially
trail braking he needs to do.
Especially being right in behind the 21. He's getting some big air wash. That's why he's diving to the inside. But yeah, he just loses so much of a run doing so that the 21 gets kind of break away.
This run he gets through 1 and 2, though. It's so good. The gap he gets, or he closes. Look at that run. He just needs to do something with it.
Yeah, honestly, I think the best thing really he should do is just wait for the last maybe lap or two, make a Hail Mary, and hope for the best. Really.
Yeah, I think that's going to be his best bet.
It definitely seems like you can't catch him close enough to make a pass into 1 and 2.
My question is, will he use the bumper? Does he have to use the bumper?
I mean, it depends on how badly he wants to win.
Oh, this is a really good run. This is as close as he's been. But did he get enough of momentum? It seems like you'd gather more momentum if you back it up a little bit and try to get that run. Didn't get up alongside the 21 or close to it that time. But look how tight he is in 3-4, struggling with the rotation. And he's still exiting high. He's bleeding off a lot of speed. DeBarro's sitting behind. DeBarro's incapable of doing a whole lot from here. He has to get by this 54 if he wants a chance to win the race.
I think he might sense what's coming here. He might be ready to take advantage of it rather than try to be proactive in it.
Maybe the 54 is just trying to pressure the 21 to do a mistake, make his job easy. I mean, if these two fight, the 27 is going to be right in there. So maybe force the 21 into a mistake, make him crash as the 54 gets in the wall. So he's making his own mistakes.
Yeah, small kiss though is not going to really affect him.
4 laps to go here, Finian. Less than 10 miles remain. We've run 179 laps of 182. Martinez is quicker, but he's trying to figure out how to get around the 21. Still, such a great run. It's almost a 5-mile-an-hour difference by the end of the straightaway, but Cohan keeps clipping that safer on corner entry. And you see Martinez trying to copy what the 21's doing. Oh, he's tight off the floor. Had to lift off the throttle. 3 to go.
He's really starting to lose up some time here. I think his tires are starting to wear out. Which is unfortunate because this is where he needs them the most. At this point in the run here, as they come 2.5 to go.
And there'll be a lot of talk in the garage area, Finney, and the controversy over this win. Remember how much controversy there was at Martinsville last season with Greg Evans? There was a lot of talk about that, how he, kind of took some people with him as he went to the top. I don't know if that's the consensus on the racetrack right now, but I do know that, at least in the fans' point of view, there was a lot of discussion over whether or not this 21 should have made that move off into turn 3 that ended up taking the 46 out of the race for the win. But I don't think Martinez has the pace to do it. Sitting in second right now.
He's dropped back past half a second here as we round out of turn number 4. White flag in the air.
One more lap around Darlington Raceway. Battle for third heating up, though. 1.3 miles around, and Nick Cohan will log a victory in 2019. He's safe from any green-white checkers. It's just a race back to the checker flag.
Just got to make sure he gets back there at this point. Obviously, not really do anything. Battle for a third still heating up.
3 and 4. One final time, Nick Cohan in the number 21. He led 16 laps. He's going to be 17 when he comes out of turn 4. He didn't lead the most, but after a controversial move in turn 3, Nick Cohan wins at Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, with him in first, Miag Martinez in second, DeBarro in third, Thomas Jordan fourth, Baresi fifth, Ewing in sixth, Jeff Ward in seventh, and Greg Evans gonna limp home disappointed in eighth.
Yeah, that's going to be a top 10 still for the 46, but I'm sure there's going to be some frustration.
Considering the night he had, I would probably be a little frustrated if I was him too, as you see the congratulatory bumps from the 27, his teammate.
And so that makes me wonder, what's the consensus going to be? There's a couple of cars tied together down there on the apron in turns. I think they were just stopped.
Anything to it.
But,
Yep, this is what I was waiting for.
I think we all saw that coming. And
and you see all the fans taking photos of that.
Well, I don't think you can say he didn't deserve that. But I think that car, if he wants to take that home and put it in his house like Denny Hamlin.
Race winning diecast.
I don't think Lionel's going to be thrilled with that. But Cohan wins the race here, Finian. Your running order scrolling across the top of your screen.
It's been his tribute to Wood Brothers Racing.
And burns it down. And that's a nice looking burnout, by the way.
Yeah,
it's hard to do that. I can speak from experience. It's pretty difficult to pull that off. He's got that figured out. If not the pass for the win thing. But Cohan wins the race. We'll be back to talk to him in just a minute. Stay with us. welcome back live to Sim TV after the conclusion of 182 laps at the track Too Tough to Tame. And for Alec Martinez, it was a spectacular race, Alec. Not quite the finish you wanted, coming home second place. I'm sure you got to be thrilled with that, but I'm sure you wanted one spot more.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But I could say this: I beat Anthony DeBarro, so that's a good thing. But it was fun. I just wish the lappers weren't as atrocious as what they were. But I mean, it's Darlington; it's hard to move around, and with the dirty air, it's impossible to pass. So, these cars come to. So that's why, at some of these tracks, it's going to be a joke to watch. You're not going to be able to pass. But you know what? It's fun. Good to lead some laps. So, we'll see what happens going into Saturday.
So not only you didn't only lead laps, you led the most laps. You led 95 en route to your second place result. So is there anything you could have done different that last restart there, Alec? Is there any place you could have placed your car different? Because it looked like you had a bit faster, just struggled in the aero push there.
Yeah, I mean, if I could have just sent it into 3, slide job, try to slide job Nick and hit the wall and probably take him out. I mean, that's the only way you're going to have to pass with this package here. So I don't want to do that. It's not how I want to race. So I tried on the straightaways. If I went low, I probably was going to get really tight underneath Nick, and DeBarrett was probably going to get a big run on me, and I was probably going to lose another position to George. So you just have to pick and choose the way or where you want to make your moves and when you got to make them. But it's just such a hard place to pass with the dirty air and with these cars. So you just got to pick and choose your battles. And, I don't know. I don't know what else could have happened if I could have done anything different. But it was a fun race, and we'll probably have to go get them Saturday. Hopefully, I'll have a good chance there.
All right, Alec Martinez, second place tonight. Alec, congrats. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Anthony DeBarro finished in, looks like, third place tonight in the number 27. Anthony, really, really fast tonight. Probably had a car that was capable of winning. What did you need to do to get that a couple spots higher up the grid there?
Not getting the fence there and turn 1. I don't know what happened. The track was getting progressively tighter as it was getting darker. I went into 1. I figured for the first 5 or so laps you could stay wide open, and I hit a bump and the front end just took off and I got the fence. It's great to see. I have worst finish on the season, 10th to 2 victories and 3 top 5s. I mean, we're having an incredible season. I just gave one away there, that's for sure. But congratulations to Nick. It's well deserved. We got 3 cars in the chase. That's awesome.
This early in the season, if there's those that say that you're peaking too soon, what do you say about that? Do you think you can carry this momentum deep into the season and into the Fuel Finals?
Basically, I'm just trying to build the bonus points now. I mean, last season I went into the playoffs with a penalty, so I had a big deficit to make up, and I just basically top 5 the whole playoffs, which I know if I don't take any chances, I could be a top 10 driver each week. So I'm just going to keep being consistent and try not to piss people off and see if we can make it to be Vegas this time and sweep the season. That'd be awesome. That's the ultimate goal.
All right, so Anthony DeBarro, third place in his number 27 Camry. Great job, Anthony. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
And last but not least, tonight it's going to be Nick Cohan driving the number 21 car. Gets a victory tonight, Nick. I think we got to address the elephant in the room here. I want to talk to you about that incident with you in the 46 off into turn number 3. What happened there? What do you have to say to Greg? And how about that victory tonight, huh?
Yeah, first off, it was a good run here for the CG Automotive Toyota Camry tonight. Pounded the wall probably about 20 times tonight. I don't know how this thing was still turning by the end, but just kept the tires under it and just did my best to not destroy it anymore after every time I hit the wall. That last run there kind of set myself up for the long run there, the last stint, and was running those 2 down and running the top, and as soon as I showed my cards running the bottom by using the apron in 3 and 4, Greg tried to block it, and he spun himself off my nose. I mean, I did it the past 2 laps. He saw me do it, so that's why he went down there. He knew I was going to do it again. It's just, it's just hard racing with 20 to go. He can be mad at me all he wants, but, that was the lane I was choosing to go, and he didn't choose to take it until after I already was committed. So, I'm really happy with this win tonight. I haven't won in this new Cup car, and I don't really care what he has to say.
So from here on out for you in the 46, is it over from here, or does this carry on into next week?
Well, I don't know. He hit me after the race. I mean, he can take it as far as he wants. I told him to talk about it after the race, but then he destroys my car at the end. So obviously, he's just I don't know. I'll just let it go. I don't want this to keep continuing because it's stupid. Because it's just a racing deal, in my opinion. I didn't, I was going to the lane I was choosing, and he tried to take my lane away, but it was a little too late. He saw the run I had. Him and Ant were side by side in the middle of 1 and 2, which slows all their momentum down. So obviously, I had a run coming. So he knew to take my line. And to be honest, I probably would have done the same thing, and I'd be pissed off too. So it's just, it's this package. You just got to drive so aggressive anymore. It's not about, who can keep the tires under them really anymore. It's all about just being aggressive every single lap, and it kind of sucks. But, that's part of it, and that's what's made this so hard for me to try and get a win in these new cars, because I haven't won in these things yet. They're just not my style of driving. And tonight here, running up along the wall is my favorite type of racing. So, like I said, just happy to get CG Automotive a win tonight. A year ago, I lost a good friend of mine, Tommy. Dedicate this one to him.
And I do want to shift the focus away from that incident there, Nick, and talk to you about that last little run there with the 54 charging fast. Did you notice anything that he was beating you at that you needed to improve on? And how did you keep that 54 behind you? Because he was lapping a little bit quicker.
Yeah, he was fast tonight. Alex was really fast tonight, and I was trying my best to do, just like with me and Greg, try and take his line away. I knew if I ran the top, it'd be pretty hard for him to get by. He tried multiple times there on the inside. I wanted to, and I just stayed in the throttle. It was a little sketchy sometimes, but we were racing each other really hard. I appreciate racing hard without wrecking each other, so that was fun. I knew he was the fastest car tonight, and I was kind of behind on strategy because that last caution before that long run there, I took 2 tires and no fuel, so I was behind on strategy, and I had to run every drop out of that tank just to keep up with these guys' pit strategy, and it kind of worked out good right there at the end. I literally was about to run out as I came down pit road, and I know those guys had more gas than I did, so it kind of worked out perfectly with tires and everything. So, just try to do my best to, keep the tires under me without pounding on the wall any more than I already was. But luckily, Ant made a mistake there at the end because he was going to be hard to get by. There was no way to get by him there. I don't even blame Alex. I know he was the quickest car there at the end, but it's kind of hard to package, especially with the sunlight going down and the track cooling off.
All right, well, Nick Cohan wins his first race of the season. Nick, congratulations, and good luck to you in the rest of the season.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good night. All right, Finian, thoughts after a wild race at Darlington, 182 laps. We only had 3 cautions, another spectacular race. The quality of racing these guys have put on this season is just second to none. Absolutely great so far. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal start to the season. I really hope this does continue going, although it won't continue next week as we're going to have a week off on the 10th, and then after that, on the 17th, we'll go to Texas.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, these guys did a phenomenal job, especially considering the car counts. Obviously, I didn't finish with as many guys as we started, but still a decent size considering it's Darlington and how long the race is, too. We were bound to lose some guys here and there, but great racing, especially that run in the middle. Gone over 120 laps green is no easy feat.
Really, really impressive stuff. So that's going to do it for us tonight. We are off for a couple days, actually. Our next race is going to be right here at Darlington on Saturday night. That's going to be with the Outsider Racing League at 10 p.m. Pretty much the same setup as here, and we'll see you there on Saturday. Thanks so much for watching the Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series. My name is Kyle Heiger. I'm joined by Finney Nakuna, and we'll see you Saturday night. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.